At Fidelity, your dedicated advisor will work with you on a comprehensive wealth plan across your full financial picture. A plan with tax-smart investing strategies designed to help you keep more of what you earn. This is the planning effect.
Massive night ahead for this Fidelity 5-Star Grand Prix. Crowds going to be heading here in their droves. A packed stadium to feature tonight for the 5-Star, the first of those 5-Star Grand Prix. A top-class lineup, as we see from top to bottom, very early on, in fact, in the field, features 3 of the world's top 10, so looking forward to that, and some top-class horse flesh as well. Some really exciting ones we saw in the Grand Prix qualifier earlier on this week, which we'll be unveiling to you as part of this Grand Prix class as well. So let's take a rundown of who features here tonight, and it is a truly global field. Taking you through the Douglas Elliman International lineup. Well, very much an international lineup here tonight. Of course, the home nation of the USA, well represented. 16 in the field here tonight. 9, in fact, for Ireland, the second strongest here. Canada with 3, Belgium with 2, Brazil with 1. Long list of those with 1, including Egypt, Spain, Great Britain, of course, with the Olympic champion Ben Mayer. Israel in there with Daniel Blumit. Italy, Lorenzo De Luca. Mexico, Eduardo de Menezes. And Sweden with Petronella Anderson, all in the field here tonight. Wonderful field here for the 5-Star here tonight, but let's give you a few of the riders to watch, starting with Team USA. Let's take a look at 3 lady riders tonight, and we start with Laura Kraut, one of the most experienced riders in the field, with Baloo Tinu, the horse that she rode at the Olympic Games to then go on to an Olympic silver in Tokyo in 2021. She herself already a gold medalist from Beijing in 2008. Baloo Tinu with amazing form as well, placed in the Grand Prix in Rome and several other big 5-Star Grand Prix, and started off here in Wellington as a partnership with a Grand Prix win straight off the bat. Jessica Springsteen also was part of that Olympic medal winning team with the silver there in Tokyo too, riding again her Olympic horse Don Juan here tonight. Another consistent performer that was also part of the winning team for the USA here in Wellington to start off an amazing 2021. And how about the rest of the US riders? Well, also we picked out another lady rider in there who's been on amazing form this week, a world champion, gold medal in 2018 and a number 1 position in the Grand Prix qualifier here this week. Adrian Sterlitz and Benny's Legacy, multiple winners of World Cup qualifiers, again could rise to the top again for Adrian here tonight. What about the rest of the field, the international elements of tonight's 5-Star Grand Prix? Well, it features several of those in the world's top 10, as I mentioned. We start off with Daniel Deusser, the world number 3. 3 is the number. He won 3 Grand Prix here last year as well. Tonight he rides Tobago Z, the horse that he rode to 2 Grand Prix wins on last season, including the Rolex Grand Prix and the Nations Cup Grand Prix as well. One hard to look past. Tobago Z coming out in anger for the very first time in the big Grand Prix here this season. Ben Mayer, of course, a Grand Prix winner already this season, the Olympic champion on Explosion W, but the gold medalist tonight riding an exciting horse for him. This is Fultic, one you haven't seen before, went brilliantly in the qualifier here and could be an exciting one to come out the pack for Ben, as this horse gets tested for the very first time here in the big classes in Wellington. And also we turn to another campaigner, Shane Sweetnam, winner of this Grand Prix here this time last year with Alejandro. Once again, can he defend that title here in Wellington and double up on Week 5 Grand Prix wins? Well, this year as well, not just bringing you the action in the arena, but we're aiming to get out to some of those barns and take you behind the scenes, because some of them are truly spectacular. They are horse heavens out there, and we start with Helgstrand, which is certainly a horse heaven for many of the dressage horses featuring here as part of this amazing lineup here in Wellington. But also, of course, they're linked to jumping too through the Beerbaum stables and the bases over in Riesenbeck in Germany. So we take a tour courtesy of Wellington Equestrian Realty. Let's take a little walk around Helgstrand.
Hi, I'm Ulf. I'm working for Helgstrand now 5 years, and I'm responsible for Helgstrand USA to run our farm here in Wellington, and also for the other 8 months of the year our farm in Germany. The daily routine, we start feeding the horses in the morning, mugging out, then we start riding. And we really interested in having the horses out twice a day. So in the afternoon we put them in the walker, we put them in the paddock. And then nearly every day we have clients, so where we show the horses. So there is every day a little bit the same, but on the other side every day a little bit different. Our job is really to ride the horses in this way that they are fresh for the clients, that the clients get a good feeling of the horse, that the clients can ride the lessons depending to the age of the horse. And in our opinion this is enough. What we do sometimes when we get the chance, every Friday evening when we have the international show, we have this under the lights. And then when we got the chance, we show 2-3 horses there, and that's always good for us and good for the interested people, because we can show them how they behave in an unknown place and under lights. Also dressage horses, they need a little bit different situation. So we have the big indoor, we have a big outdoor field. This year new, we have the jumpers, the Beerbaum stables. For us, it's entertaining, it's nice to see them jump. We ride our dressage horses around the jumps. So I think also for both of us, it's a benefit. And the interesting thing is that the jumpers are starting riding dressage with their jumping horses. So that's a good part. Yeah, this winter we added our own CEM quarantine to the 52 stalls we already have. And because we think it makes it much easier to keep the mares under control, to see them every day, especially after the flight. A lot of these horses never flew before. We can supervise the training. The negative thing is we only can ride them at a time when no one else is taking a horse out. But the benefit of seeing the horses, of seeing the training is very positive. And we also can ride them on the footing, on our good places, and not at some quarantine places where maybe the circumstances are not so perfect. We have a huge training track, hacking track around the full property, so let's say around the 80 acres, and it's also a little bit up and down. You can choose if you want to go this way or that way, but when you make the big tour, it takes you at least 25 minutes. So that's very, very good for the horses, and also when also friends are coming. For us, the very important thing is the covered arena, and we build it also a little bit like we have our arenas in Europe with a really solid kickboard. And because all the horses we are bringing, they are imported, so they are used to a kickboard. And I think we have also a lot of adult amateurs, people who are, I don't want to say afraid, but they are a little bit careful when they are riding a horse they don't know. So also they feel a little bit more protected with the covered arena. We installed 3 big fans for the summer, that the air will be changed a lot. So I think also for the whole season this arena is really a nice place to ride in, but also with the casino, a very nice place to relax and to stay there and to have a coffee or a drink, and so like a little bit like an after work place. I think the Global Equestrian Group is now quite well known in Wellington, owning the jumping showgrounds and owning Hegstrand Dressage, and also Beerbaum stables are a part of this since a year. And the owner, Waterland, is very interested that not only dressage is involved in Wellington, also jumping. And I can say from myself, in my heart, I'm a little bit a jumper, so I was very happy when they were coming. And we work really, really nice together. We take care for each other. If we have dressage clients, they are not jumping. If they are jumping, we go away and make space. So it's really good work together, and no one is disturbing. We are going when they are jumping. We are going there to watch, to keep our fingers crossed for them. And it's really a nice, entertaining work together.
our events here at the Winter Equestrian Festival. Great to hear from Stephen Wild about some of the riders to watch, and of course from the wonderful team at Helgstrand as well. We are just around 9 minutes away from the first horse on course in what is going to be a beautiful and wonderful competition this evening. Before we do, ladies and gentlemen, I am thrilled, I am delighted to welcome Binks Forest Elementary School for their performance. Ladies and gentlemen, show your appreciation, please do, to the Binks Forest Elementary School. Well, ladies and gentlemen, courtesy of Fidelity Investments, we present that CSI five-star Grand Prix.
And we're going to take a look at the course for tonight's five-star
Let's take a look at the
Grand Prix,
course
sponsored
that
by
they'll
Fidelity
contend.
Investments, and it is the Grand Prix presenting sponsor tonight as well. Kelvin Bywater of Great Britain, our course designer here, and a looping start, and it is over the Oxer, 147 in width there to start you off, but then very serious early on, 160 to the orange wall at fence 2. Coming up to the third at 1m65 at the Fidelity planks there, and then this line in front of the International Club. It's then 1m61 on a black plank down to a triple combination, and for there, energy needed on the way in, 1m70 in spread on the way in, 2 strides, 1 stride at the last part of an Oxer on the way out, but there in the middle, that vertical looming to be caught. 6 and 7 going past the in-gate on the 5 strides there, 1m60 just over at fence 7, and again, skinny fences there that make things even tougher too. Turning back to fence 8, and again, we're going to bring the time allowed into play here as well. Up across the centre, At 9, Water Tray there. Again, the lights are going to be down on that. 10 A and B at the double. 156 on the way in. 160 Oxer on the way out there. And you can see the tight line they may be offering up there at fence 11, the high gain fence there. And that's one of the biggest spreads on course at over 170. And it's a long course, 14 fences in all. 13 again spread out to 170. And the last coming down to that on the 7 strides, a 163 vertical to finish off with horizontal stripes on the poles. It's tough. It's what you'd expect for a $406,000 Grand Prix here. And our thanks to Fidelity Investments for bringing us that. That's the first round. 80 seconds is going to be the time allowed. And we're going to be heading into our national anthem as well to start the proceedings off for tonight. So we're going to hand over to the arena team. And we're delighted to say it's coming up for our national anthem. Big night here for the Fidelity Investments. $406,000 5-star Grand Prix. First 5-star Grand Prix of the season. And starting, of course, in the traditional way. Lots to come up for you. 40 starters of a fine field here tonight, and lots to look forward to. It's a packed house, literally packed house. No room to watch here. You're going to be in there watching on your screens at home as well, and out there they're packed in and ready to cheer. So we're going to be heading into our national anthem. Well, a fine performance from the Binks Forest School with us here tonight, and of course all the local schools that get involved here for the big events each Saturday night as part of the Winter Equestrian Festival. Tonight it is another step up, the $406,000 Fidelity Investments 5-star Grand Prix. 5-star in every way, and my co-commentator tonight is exactly that as well. US Olympian, many-time Grand Prix winner, Pan Am medalist, many more accolades besides Lauren Huff. Very good evening to you.
Thank you, Stephen. Very happy to be here, and I think we're going to have some exciting sport tonight.
I think we certainly are. We're going to let you talk about courses and all that's coming up along these in just a few moments' time. But let's take you in with the first of 40 in our Grand Prix. So first round of the competition, and Clear's going forward to that jump off a little later on to battle for the $406,000. And starting off with Mexico, Eugenio Garza with the El Milagro of Wellington's Victor Finn DHZ, the Belgian-bred horse by Vavit. Finished well in the Grand Prix already this season, top 10 just a week ago with a different ride there, Contago on that occasion. He was also a Pan Am medalist, a silver medal in 2019, and finished well in the Grand Prix in California. Now, Lauren, already, unfortunately, a fence down.
I was just about to say that that first jump is not a very big fence, but it's going straight into the screen, and that horse, I think, wasn't really focused on the fence. He was looking more up at the screen.
Now let's talk around this course. Plank there, he just gives a little touch to it, fence 4, and then into this triple combination, which I think is going to have a big influence.
Yeah, that's a really super delicate plank, and it's very tall, short out of the turn. It walks 7 stride. I think it's 7 strides for everybody. This is a very short 5 here. This horse, I think, has a medium stride. And this jump also comes up very quick, and this is a very airy oxer with a water tray underneath, wide. Oh, he got stuffed up there against A, and then had that down and got a little long, but he got out okay. This is not a tall oxer, but it's very wide.
Yeah.
And this should be 7 strides here to your Liverpool. Short 4. And then another 7 to a very tall vertical to finish.
There we go, finishes off there on the 8:79.96, time allowed of 80 seconds, so gets inside that. Lauren, tough start for him having the first fence down, and again it's a tough one being the pathfinder here.
Absolutely. You know, this is a big 5-star early on in the season. I thought the horse handled it nicely. You know, one was a bit unlucky. He looked a touch on the slow side, and he just was under, so we'll just have to monitor how the time is going to be a factor as we carry on here.
Absolutely. Nicolas Philipparts of Belgium there. Nicolas with Katanga, the 12-year-old mare, the Belgian-bred mare by Cardenso for Nicolas, who was individually 5th at the European Championships last year in Riesenbeck, a bronze medal for the team there too. He was also part of the squad at the Nations Cup final, and he's also won some major Grand Prix, including in Doha, some 5 stars to his name, and of course a 5-star family bred for this. His father Ludo's been here as well. Of course, he rode the Great Darko and several other top rides, of course, so he's been giving some advice here. Lauren, it's been actually a lot of faces here at the moment looking around.
There's many riders from all over the world here, and I think this is Nicola's 2nd or 3rd season here. He always says he's the lucky one of the family that they sent him to the Florida sunshine for the winter. So he ended up one more stride there. The horse went high over the wall and landed quite shallow, so he decided to go on 7. That 7 got a little long. Jumped through the triple really well. Looks a tiny bit mouthy, but it's very careful.
That line there down, we talked about that first fence coming towards the screen. You're coming back towards the crowd with all those skinny line of fences as well. Also got to keep the concentration.
Yeah, there's a lot that comes at you early on here. This doesn't look like the easiest round, but just had the front bar of the water tray down.
Now back to the
Very
fence.
tall vertical.
What's your thoughts on coming down to that line? Because he's got you coming on quite an angle and really moving down that line.
It's quite a S-turn, that whole last bit, and you need to have a lot of rideability. I don't think there's many options. I think it's 7-4, possibly a leave out to the last with a big step if you feel like you're short on the time. But there's a lot of questions all over the course. And, I don't know. I don't want to predict too early, but I had said to you earlier, like 7-8 clear, I think.
Yeah, that's an early prediction. We'll see. We'll see. Time-wise, what are we at? 77.73. So they're getting inside that all right. World number 3, Daniel Deusser, and we were just talking about earlier. First 5, actually a very strong first 5. We've got 2 of the world's top 5 coming in our 5. This is one of them. The world number 3, Daniel Deusser. Scuderia 1918 Tobago Z. Now 14 years of age, by Taj Jello for this super horse that won 2 Grand Prix here last season. Of course, it was among several Grand Prix that Daniel won here. It's owned by the Stefex Stables, and he won the Rolex Grand Prix and the Nations Cup Grand Prix with this horse. Now, he's bought this one out this week for the 5-star. We haven't seen this horse in the Grand Prix so far. He's been going to Killer Queen. Little change around, but he's bringing out the serious guns here tonight to start firing for these 5 stars.
Yeah, I think this horse just arrived maybe a week or 10 days ago, and I'm not sure if this was his original plan, but obviously Daniel's one of the best in the world. This horse has been all over the world. I think it's early on in the season, but if anyone's going to show us how to do it, it'll be him. Very easy in the 6. This comes up very quick here, this plank. That line seems to be riding quite nicely. This Oxer also comes up quick here. It walked 8 or 9 strides to this yellow. Jumping really well so far.
I mean, this is a horse you've seen in action quite a few times. How would you sum it up?
Yeah, they're an incredible combination. They know each other backwards and forwards. He's not a very big horse, but he's really a fighter, and they're a fantastic team.
Which again,
that got long, but
yeah.
he got away with it. So you can bring it home here.
This would put some pressure on early on, but not unsurprisingly. Time's fine.
And there's your 6 to the last.
There we go, 6 tries to finish and a time of
First clear.
78.70. And there's the first that clears. As you say, Daniel Deusser produces clear round number 1, but not a big surprise coming from the world number 3 and Tobago Z. Lauren, your overall thoughts on that round, because that was pretty copybook. A little bit of a problem at one point.
Pretty darn good. You know, I walked actually some of the course with Daniel, and he felt confident, and yeah, he's been there and done it and showed us how to do it.
What do you take as a rider from watching Daniel?
Well, we know he's really good. So, you know, it's interesting. We now have some new rules in play where these classes aren't seeded.
Yeah.
Obviously, some of the best going early, and I think that gives some opportunities for the greener riders, maybe in their first 5-star, to see one of the best in the world go and do it, and I think that will help them feel good about it if they go later in the class.
Well, let's see how Egypt's Nile Nassar gets on with the Evergate Stables of Wellington's Igor van der Wietemoor. And again, one we would expect to feature here. Won the WEF class back on week 3. He won a Grand Prix here back in November. He's won multiple 5-star Grand Prix. Top 3 in January in a Grand Prix here as well. And on his Olympic ride...
Yeah, they've been in really good form, and I'm a big fan of this horse. It's blood, and yeah, it's a really handy horse, and obviously very fast in the jump-offs. Wow, it jumped A, amazing.
I was walking that line with Andrew Bowens a little bit earlier on, and Andrew was saying that the vertical in the middle he felt was a little bit of a catch there, almost the speed bump. You've got to be careful not to flatten off.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they seem to be really jumping that line well, but certainly B is you have to be careful there for sure. It's a wide Oxford coming in, and they need to back up and jump up over B. This is also having a very nice round. That 1 is riding a touch long there. He stayed a bit on the inside track for the 7, which made him allow for the 4. And another clear.
Just going to be on a little bit closer to the time, 79.52, but another clear coming out the bag there, Nile Nassar and Igor van der Wietemoor. But as you say, Lauren, we don't have seeded Grand Prix before now. It used to be based on the higher up the rankings are, the later you went in the Grand Prix. Now it's just a random draw, 2 strong ones early on. And again, as you say, it's good to see, but does that also put 1 or 2 in a bit of a false sense of security, going, okay, we can jump this?
Perhaps, but yeah, those are 2 of the best in the world, and they did make it look very easy, but it's definitely not easy for sure. This is obviously another fantastic rider on a greener horse, newer partnership.
World number 5, Ben Mayer, Olympic champion Ben Mayer on the Oakingham Studs Baltic HB. This Dutch bred stallion by Baltic VDL for the Oakingham Stud. For the Ray family, back in Great Britain. They're based in Berkshire, a horse that was produced until recently with Owen Gallagher and Roger McRae through, and of course Mackenzie Ray, part of the family very early on, riding this horse. Finished 3rd in the WEF Challenge Cup, the Grand Prix qualifier earlier on this week, and it was won. We'll let them jump a couple of fences, but Lauren, that we were all sitting there going, okay, yeah, we can see what's going on here. This is looking nice.
Yeah, I followed this horse as a young horse in England, and then saw with Ben at Olympia, and it looks pretty spectacular. This would probably be its first big 5-star under the lights, but the horse is certainly in good hands.
And again, that's a little bit of the difference of what you were talking about earlier. You've got Daniel coming out on Tobago, that's done this before, but even you're giving the wows as they come through the triple combination. What were you wowing at then?
I mean, it jumped 3 feet over the A. It's a beautiful model of a horse, fantastic canter. It's really careful, but it also looks very brave. So so far it's definitely got all the qualities here. Just jinxed it. I think he ended up 6th there. That's a tough, careful jump. The white poles with the water tray, and it comes up quick out of the turn there.
Just coming home on the 4, but this will be a good educational round for
Absolutely. I'm
this
sure
horse.
Ben will be thrilled with that. I mean, not thrilled, because
Yeah.
we all want to jump clear, but
Happy
this
enough.
is definitely a horse for his future, and it handled that beautifully. This was just a little bit of a green mistake there.
Would that be a Lauren Huff horse?
Yeah, I'd take it.
You've watched a few go, Lauren. If you were riding in this tonight, what are your thoughts compared to when you walked the course? What's on your mind now?
Yeah, these are, like I said, this is a really, really strong group of horse and riders, and it walked tough, but we're looking at some of the best in the world, and so far there seem to sort of be poles throughout, and obviously 2 clear in the very beginning, but very good horses, and hopefully it'll play out well as we go along here. Doesn't look to be like there's any big traps,
Yeah.
which I like as a rider. You don't want to have to worry about one particular thing in the course.
Mario Deslauriers then, and Bardolina too, staying with the quality, and Mario, a 3-time Olympian, won with his horse at Spruce Meadows, the Hamptons, was second in the Grand Prix in Monterey down in Mexico at the tail end of last year as well, for the Wishing Well Farm of New York, the Holsteiner by Claremont. Again, this has been a consistent performer throughout, hasn't it, Lauren? I know you'll have followed this one quite a lot.
It has an easy, big, scopy, easy jump. It has quite a strong drift to the right, which I think you'll notice on the takeoff. But Mario's obviously aware of it. That's ride's very short for him. He's got to probably be a little bit aware of the time allowed, just because it's a bit of a slower moving horse.
Just a touch on the back rail there.
Yeah. Oi. Held off a little bit, but he got away with it.
Mario still on the clear at the moment, as you say, might just have to think about time.
It's time, yeah. It was also close to the back bar there. Little drift right.
He's got 1 fence to go, and it's going to be very. I'm not sure he's. Ooh, I don't know. Yeah, the 79.78. I said it was going to be close. So Mario Deslauriers just creeping in there with Bardolina too. Lauren here, they've just got a little bit stuck in a couple of places.
Yeah, the horse was backing a bit off the front bar of the Oxers, and it made some of the Oxers a bit wider than I think he hoped, but they're obviously a very seasoned pair. They know each other very well. And, the horse looked a little bit of a handful tonight, but jumped fantastic and really good clear round.
And again, as much as a lot of horses, especially a horse like this, Royce, has been and done this under the lights plenty of times before, they haven't done it for a little while, since some of last year, depending on where they've been on their calendars. Again, you can take a little bit of a look, I guess, and it's just getting used to it again.
Yeah, obviously Margie's a dear friend of mine, and this is a very, very seasoned pair. I think she tries to protect him now. He's getting a little bit up
18.
there in age. Is he 18 now?
18 now.
Okay. Anyway, he looks in good shape, and so does Margie. So
she's 18 as well.
exactly.
Margie, of course, winner of the Rolex Grand Prix here on this horse as well. Pan Am gold medalist, Sydney Olympian.
Oh, that was a shame.
But
He just cut in the corner, actually, and got probably a little deeper than she had hoped. As we were walking the course, she actually said to me, "I've knocked that plank down with every horse I rode this week, so I'm sorry, Margie, that you've added it tonight."
Does that sort of get in your head a little bit, or, I mean...
No, Margie's a seasoned competitor. I don't think that... Oh, that was a shame. I think she's going to call it a night, yeah.
Royce hasn't got a lot to prove.
No, he doesn't have a lot to prove, and, it's still early in the season, and maybe he looked just a tiny bit empty. Maybe it's fitness. Anyway, they'll be out to fight again another day.
Absolutely, pops the fence there. I'm going to bring you back to the point you were talking about. You start to have something that causes you a problem. You're obviously right. I mean, for someone like Margie, it's not going to cause a problem. But for someone like an amateur, if you're training and you start to get in their head, how do you as a trainer start to help someone deal with that?
Tell him to stop it. This sport is it's a tough game. It's a mental sport for these riders, and it's always a challenge. It's a challenge for the best in the world, and it's a challenge for the amateurs. But you gotta stick with it and, you know, get over it.
Do you have any sort of tricks to help things along mentally, or have you been able to put things behind you pretty easily?
I don't know. I think, you know, with a lot of rounds under your belt, I tend to thrive under pressure, so this is my favorite thing to do is jump these 5 stars.
Well, one who's jumping the 5 star tonight is Alex Matz of the USA in the Horseshoe Trail Farm of Pennsylvania's Erdento van der Leeuwenberg. The Dutch-bred stallion by Cardento finished second at the Grand Prix in Greenwich. Had a nice win at the Hampton Classic on the 13-year-old as well. And, of course, the next generation, the great Michael Matz as well, and all the family.
Absolutely. I saw Michael when I was leaving the arena after walking the course. He says this will be the first night class for Alex and this horse. But I'm sure they're certainly well prepared. Just hung up a little bit and didn't get to the back bar there. I've got a little short, but he got away with it.
On the 8 at the moment. The key here really, I guess, is get a nice flowing finish.
Absolutely, yeah.
On the 12.
Oh, wait. Just looks a little bit sticky on the takeoff.
Going to add a little bit of time there as well. 81.59. It's going to be 2 for time under the new rules. It's 1 time for every second commence, so that takes them up to 22. Not so easy in your first time, Lauren, for Alex here. But again, what would you take away from this? What would your thoughts be?
It wasn't a great score, but nothing terrible happened. There was no disaster. The horse jumped a little bit low in places, looked like it got a little bit sticky. But I'm sure they'll be back and be stronger the next time they come out.
And when you did this for the first time, do you remember it?
I don't remember. It was a long time ago. Thanks, Stephen.
It was like 3-4 years ago.
Oh, yeah, right.
Right, on to Jordan Coyle, who's done this a few times as well. Ireland's Jordan Coyle, and he was the winner of the Upperville Grand Prix, amongst others, 5-star Grand Prix in California at the Desert Horse Park back in December as well. Riding for the Land Farm of New Jersey, this is Ariso, the Swedish-bred horse by Casal, and a winner last week as well for Jordan. 3 clears already, Daniel Deusser, Niall Nassar, and Mario Delorier. As you said, a little bit of a spread of where the fences have come down so far.
Yeah. This guy he's a tough competitor.
Yeah.
And, he's a very, very strong rider. This is also a really strong horse. You can see with the amount of hardware it has. But it's a good jumper. It's very scopy. The rideability sometimes can get in his way, but.
And I mean, we were there. I was watching.
See how steady that 7 got. Just dropped a stride there and did 4, which probably suited him. Sometimes he can get a little harder to ride towards the end of the course here, so. Okay, shorten your reins, reorganize. Ah, that's a shame.
And as you say, it is a tall vertical. It just...
Yeah, the horse, he went as wide as he could for the 7, but it just got right up underneath it. Couldn't get its front legs out of the way.
78.38, and so we'll finish just on the 4 there for Jordan Coyle and Ariso. Again, let's take another look here just at this vertical from the other direction.
Yeah, the horse got way to the outside of the line and then just trailed actually behind. I just said in front, but he had it behind. And again, you know, some horses he did the 4 and he was able to get away with that.
So moving on there to Lee Keenan, the 25-year-old US rider, and again already putting a lot of good results behind her. Spent a lot of time in Europe last summer as well. Had wins in Aachen, competed in London just before Christmas as well. Won at Royal Windsor. And for her riding Argon de Belliard, newer horse for her in fact, this 12-year-old that was produced by Portuguese rider Luis Sabino Gonçalves, and until recently changing over to Lily. Luis, who spent a lot of time over in California in the last 12 months, won some good classes down there, and it was interesting to see this pair come together, but they seem to be coming together pretty quickly.
Yeah, I didn't watch the WEF, but I saw that they had a clear round in the WEF, which is impressive for their first 5-star together. The horse, has had some very good results. Won, I think, a 4-star out in California.
Yep.
Also a very big strided horse.
I mean, that's the thing so far when we look through the group of what we've seen, and with the best riders, is a real variation in the type and the makeup of the horses so far.
Absolutely. They come in all shapes and sizes, and it's up to the rider to pick the right number of strides that best suits that horse. This so far is a very good round. Oh, that was a shame. She moved up after the Liverpool and maybe got a touch close to A of the double. But for a new combination, this is so far a very nice round.
Yeah, just leaving them one fence to go on the 4 there for Lily Keenan and Argan de Balear. Just going to pop the one time full done there as well. But overall, you'd probably be happy enough with that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd be happy with that. I think I don't know how many Grand Prix she's done with the horse, but it looks like it'll be a good combination for the future.
Absolutely, looking good for the future for Lily Keenan and Argan de Balear. So very new combination coming together there. So just misses out on the 5. We've got those clears so far. What have we got? Nal Nasser, Mario Delore and Daniel Doisa at the moment as the clears. Amy Miller of Canada next, and Amy from the Millbrook Farm in Overland, Perth, Ontario. Finished top 5 in the Grand Prix at the Desert Horse Park 2 in California in December. Nations Cup appearance for this pair in Spruce Meadows last season. Finished top 3 in a Grand Prix already here in January. Now on the 13-year-old Truman.
Oh, shame. First jump again. I was very impressed with Amy all last season. She produced many, many clear rounds. He may not be the quickest horse in the jump-offs, but she had a lot of double clears, and I'm a big fan of Amy, and that was a real shame to have the first jump down.
And she seemed to be very good at, they do a run of shows, take a break, and then come back.
She picks wisely. She's not super deep in 5-star Grand Prix horses, and she's done the right thing by this horse, and it's shown with the results that they've had. She also always has to be a little bit aware of the time with this horse. He sort of twists and turns and finds his own way, but he's quite careful, actually.
Well, just finishes on a total of 8 in the end there. It's 78-91, couple down, including at the water there. Let's have another look back at the Oxa.
That very well. And again, that's just for a big moving horse. There's not a lot of room to fit your 7 in, and it just got a bit close there and had it down.
Well, finishing on the 8 there. As we move on to Kent Farrington, the world number 8, and Kent with Orafina, the mare by For Fashion. Now a 10-year-old, was originally with Sana Tyson back in Europe. And again, for Kent, a newer ride in terms of moving up, a little change. He was going to ride Easy Girl. It's actually changed from a little bit earlier on today, as I understand. And Kent finished second in the Grand Prix already this season. Won the National Horse Show Grand Prix last year as well. Continues, of course, the long list of Grand Prix he's won, including Aachen. Now again, for this horse, I'm pretty sure this would be maybe the second time under the lights for her.
Yeah, I think he did last year some 3 stars with the horse, and He takes his time to produce them, and normally when he walks into a 5-star, he always feels quite confident in what he's riding. But this certainly would be a big ask for this horse tonight. A blood horse that I think he's had to work quite a bit on the rideability.
Yeah.
Very careful horse.
But I mean, you've ridden a few horses that are quite bloody as well along the way, that have got a bit of character from that point of view.
Just drug him a little bit underneath the front bar there.
But Kent's also in that category. He likes to feel some energy going, doesn't he?
Absolutely. He definitely thrives with horses with a lot of blood, and he's able to handle them. He teaches them rideability, and Kent's a fantastic producer and always knows when to bring them out and is always ready to win.
Orofina on the 4 at the moment with Kent Farrington, just the 1 fence to go. Should be okay for time, but just going to be on the 4.
Quick. I'm sure he's never happy if he doesn't jump a clear round, but I would imagine that would be a good round for this horse for the mileage that it has.
And again for him, he's building up a newer string of horses. Of course, he has had the great success with Gazelle and Credence and others. They're getting a little bit older now. He's got, we've been seeing here with Landon, a few others. He's got a few new ones coming up the gears.
Yep.
Where do you put Orofina in there? What do you make of that horse today?
It looks like a really interesting horse, and I've seen it in some jump offs, and it's very, very fast. So I'm sure we'll see so many good things in the future.
In US International Horse of the Year, Balou de Reventon, by Cornet Obolensky. We've seen this one plenty of times before now, owned by Ann Thompson. Hops over the first with Brian Maugré there, of course, part of the team for the USA that won in Aachen last year in the Nations Cup. He was then second in the Aachen Grand Prix as well at, like 19 years of age. He nearly won it.
Yeah, this is just an amazing animal. He's had success with a couple different riders in his career, and obviously he and Brian are a fantastic team now. And this is, I think the horse had a bit of a break towards the end of the year, and this is probably its biggest class so far this season.
Yeah.
Jumping fantastic so far.
I mean, Balou's, 16 years of age now, but I mean,
believe so, yeah.
We watched this horse last year and with Brian come up very quickly together.
Yeah, because they were a new combination last year, and really nice to see that the success they had so early on.
What do you like about the horse? I mean, because it is a superstar of a horse.
He's just so much quality and so careful, and yeah, they're also a really good match. They figured each other out very quickly. So athletic, though. Got a little close there, but got away with it.
Time should be just about all right. He's going to run a little bit close on the nose.
Oy. That was close.
79.55, and Balou de Reventon giving us the fourth of the clears there with Brian Maugré. Again, it's very difficult this evening, Lauren, to start being surprised by anything that does go clear, because they're all such solid performers, but this one is just a joy to watch.
Absolutely, and I'm sure he'll be a quick one at the jump off.
What's Brian's only 19, 20 years of age now. What's he like? You've been around him enough and seen him.
He had a fantastic upbringing there in Texas with Mike McCormick and Tracy, and he was able to ride, I think, a lot of different horses through his career, and he's able to sort of get on many different types and accommodate his riding to the horse, and that's a big talent. And he also seems to be able to handle the pressure very well as well.
He seems to soak it up without too much trouble at all, as we saw in Aachen. Another one that does is 25-year-old Spencer Smith of the USA for the Ashton Farms now. Theodore Marseillet is now a 15-year-old. Won a Grand Prix here under the lights a few seasons ago now, and that was at a Week 10 Grand Prix. Jumped the early clear then, and we'll go back to that one. But since then, last year, where they won the 5-star Grand Prix in Samarin over in Slovakia as part of the Global Champions Tour. They were top 3 in the Grand Prix in Stockholm as well. He actually won the Grand Prix here on Week 1 with the Yada Hero Z, different ride. But again, we're getting to the part of the season now. They're starting to bring out the more seasoned horses and really start to hit hard for these 5 stars, aren't we?
Absolutely. Spencer's a really hard worker and had a fantastic year last year with many different horses, and I think we'll see a lot of him in the future on teams and hopefully some championships.
And that's the thing for Team USA at the moment. I mean, we've just seen Brian Maugré, we see Spencer Smith. the future looks in pretty good hands at the moment.
Absolutely, absolutely. We definitely have a very, very good group of younger riders that are consistently staying at the top of the sport. That was a skimmer there, but he got away with it. Landed a bit shallow from the water tray and had to move up quite a bit in the 5.
But that's where you could instantly see him reacting, couldn't you?
Yep, he did, 100%.
Just leaves them a couple to go.
Oh, that was a shame.
He's going to be just inside the time at 78.45, okay, but not there on the 4 for Spencer Smith, Theodore Marseille for them. Laura, let's take a look here.
Yeah, he hit it with the front feet on the way up, actually. I thought Spencer got there fine in the 4, and I think maybe the horse got a touch tired towards the end and just got a little bit on his forehand. But in general, a very good round.
A man who is certainly fit and revving to go is the new world number 9, Connor Swale. 50 years of age, he's about 15 by the energy he's got at the moment. The Irishman has been climbing up there into the top 10, and he's on Count Me In tonight, a 15-year-old by Count Granus. Connor, who's been, well, commuting between California and here over the last few weeks as well. He's also been racking up those World Cup qualifiers. He won in Texas, he won in Vancouver, he won in Sacramento, won in Thermal last week, then thought he'd nip back here and try and pick off a few classes here. He's energized at the moment.
He's a busy man these days, but it seems to be working well for him. This is a horse I think he acquired last year.
Yeah.
Very, very careful horse. Not sure if don't think he's in a night class with it here in Florida.
No,
Pretty sure he did the night class in Thermal with it.
Yeah.
It went high over A. Oy.
No, again, he was just coming into that fence. What was going
The
on
horse
from a
looked
rider's
like
point of
it
view?
sucked back a bit around the corner, and he really had to kick it to get it in front of his leg. Connor is a very, very good rider, and he's a bit seat of your pants. He can react really well to what he's feeling underneath him.
Just settling into the latter part of this course at the moment.
Seems to be the bogey jumps, and he got away with that.
Time should be okay.
For the 7, another clear round.
There we go, and it is going to be 77.70. It gives us number 5 on the board so far. But bearing in mind that includes the world number 9, the world number 3. A man who's been picking off Grand Prix here, and a wonderful season campaigner who's won everything from the World Cup final through to more Grand Prix than I can probably mention. So out of that 5, there's no great surprise in there, and that's the tough part tonight.
Yeah, it looks to be a very exciting jump off so far, I think. This is also another really, really solid pair.
Yeah, world number 15, Daniel Blumen for Israel with Gemma W. Now an 11-year-old, this Dutch-bred horse by Guidam, the mare for the Blue Star Investments and Over the Top Stables. 5-star wins already for them. They finished second in the Rolex Grand Prix here last year as well. And again, really nice. Won the Hampton Classic Grand Prix, of course. I shouldn't slip past that one. But again, last year really stepped up. It's nice to see Ladriano's back in action as well. We've seen that horse jumping here in the last few
and
weeks.
I think he's produced this one from a young horse, and really nice to see. And they are certainly a very strong and competitive combination together.
Now, you've watched this horse a good few times now. When she comes into a jump off, she is fast.
Very fast, yes. And he's also a very fast rider. Jumps in beautiful form, this horse. looks quite good on the time. Jumped beautifully through that line.
Again, looking solid so far. Time looks good.
Oh,
Ah.
that was a shame. And the last as well.
Yeah, last two fences coming down for a score of 8, 76-47 for Daniel Blumen and Gemma W. But again, didn't look much.
No, they weren't hard poles, and again, this is probably the horse's first big class of the season. Maybe he got a little bit tired towards the end, and I'm sure it will come back stronger and better from that. They were just a bit unlucky, to be honest.
Yeah, just going to finish on the 8 there for Daniel Blumen. Abdel Said, 5-star Grand Prix winner here last year as well. That was with Bandit Savoie. That was on week 9 of our series. Also won a 5-star Grand Prix in Saint-Tropez last season as well. And with already put a win together here in Wellington, the 4-star. That was with Hocus Pocus. Different ride today with the 12-year-old Arpège de Rue, the Self Francais by Apache for Abdel, riding for Belgium. Again, he's another one that's become a familiar face coming over from Europe here to Wellington.
He definitely, I think he brought a pretty big group of horses and some students, and always happy to have him here in Florida. He's always a very strong competitor.
I think that's the thing now. When you look through this list for the Grand Prix this evening, I know we were looking through it a little bit earlier on. I mean, it graces anywhere in the world, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yep. This is, in my opinion, these classes here on the Saturday nights, the 5-stars, they're as hard as anywhere else in the world. Okay, maybe the second round of Aachen can be a bit bigger, but the really strong horse rider combinations, and it's always exciting here on a Saturday night. This horse doesn't have the biggest step, but it's a quick horse across the ground. Having a really nice round so far. And he opted for the 6 there. Worked perfectly for him. I thought that would be an option for a shorter strided horse. Oh, that was quite close.
Now, what might be close is the time. Ooh,
Oh,
yeah.
just over.
Just on the one time fault there for
What a
Abdel Said.
shame.
Arpège de Rue. One time fault at 80.47. But again, making a difference. She's a, as you say, smaller horse, just trying to get round here into that.
Yeah, you know, she definitely did more steps around the course, and to be honest, it didn't look that slow to me, but you know, maybe he needed to just move a little bit quicker around a turn. I thought he rode a great round, and the horse jumped fantastic.
So on to Tiffany Foster now of Canada and the Artisan Farms at Figor, the 12-year-old Dutch-bred horse by Kaleri Elvis for Tiffany. Pan Am gold medalist, that was 2015. That was when they were on home grounds up in Caledon, up in Canada. And for her, winning the World Cup qualifier, the Washington World Cup qualifier, the President's Cup in Tryon. We won't get too deep into how that happened this time. But second also in the World Cup qualifier in Fort Worth. And really had a strong season so far on this horse, hasn't she?
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure that she would like to go to the World Cup finals with this horse, and I think it would be a good, strong contender for that. It's a really scopy, big jumping horse. She had a good round in the WEF the other day.
Tiffany, who's now really building that string after the days of success of Triple X, and this one is really now solidly sitting there, isn't it?
Yep. I think it was had a long break, maybe last year, and then came back really strong towards the end of the season. That was a shame. She had beat the triple.
Now, as I say,
That 5 got short.
what's the thinking on riding that at the moment? Because you're saying some of them it's just getting a little bit short for.
Yeah, I think it really depends how you meet the yellow oxer and how they jump the yellow oxer. Some horses are jumping it high and landing quite shallow, and that's helping you fit the 5 in. Her horse jumped high and landed a little bit past its arc, and then and it also has a very big step, so it was difficult to fit that in.
On the
Had A of the double there.
Coming home on the 8 faults,
The
might have a
6.
bit of time as well, we'll see.
Yeah.
80.27, just 1 to add for time there, and so 9 in total for Tiffany Foster and Figure. Lauren?
Not a bad round,
Yeah.
actually. The horse jumped well. Vertical in the triple combination and vertical in the double combination. Sometimes he looks just a little bit hard to manage. But finished the last line there and jumped very well.
So at the moment, if you're just joining us, 5 clears at this stage. Niall Nasser, Mario de Laurier, Daniel Doisa, Brian Mowbray and Connor Swale as the clears so far. Sergio Alvarez Moya and Sergio riding for Spain. Another one that's headed out here for the season once again. He has done for the last few years, in fact, and today with the 10-year-old Malibu de Muse, the Belgian-bred mare by Nabab de Rev. Another rider who's won the Rolex Grand Prix here in Wellington before now. He won the Berlin Grand Prix last year. That was on Alamo. Cannes Grand Prix winner before now, and multiple performances for the Spanish team right the way through to the top 11, of course, Nations Cup final as well.
Yeah, I think this is a newer mount from the end of last year, and they've already had quite a bit of success together. He's a very good producer of many, many top horses, and this looks to be like it's got a big future with him. Big horse, big jumper.
But I think what we've proved already through the first half of the class, there is no mould that makes a perfect horse, is there?
No, they come in all shapes and sizes. So get steady for him.
No, you said there it was steady for him. He looked as though he was really
The
squaring
whole
up
way
to that.
down, yeah, he did. Horse came back well there in the 5. Now he's got to be efficient here around the turn. Oh, didn't really see that coming. I don't think that's come down too often today, has it?
But as you say a little bit earlier on, they're pretty well spread around.
Yeah, I think that's, in my opinion, the sign of a good course, and that there's rails sort of throughout. Just did 6 and 3. I think he was trying to be a fast 4, but that didn't pay off.
Well, leaves them on a score of 12 overall, 75-8. Didn't quite come off to plan tonight for Sergio Alvarez Moya and Malibu de Muse. But as you say, one that's getting the experience at the moment.
Yeah, I think he still just has to work a little bit on the control, but it looks like it's got all the qualities.
One that's certainly got all the qualities is Don Juan, and in the saddle is Jessica Springsteen of the USA, the Stonehill Farm. Again, part of the 3 that won the Olympic silver. Fantastic performance for her in Tokyo in 2021. And franking the form, really. They finished 4th in this Grand Prix here last year. They then went on to be a part of the winning team for the Nations Cup here as well. Built that right the way through, and a brilliant performance. So Olympic silver added to that too. And now on this 13-year-old Belgian-bred horse by Bamako de Muse. She's also, of course, won big Grand Prix, Saint-Tropez, Stephex Masters last year with RMF Zesli as well. I mean, she's now very much a matured, full-on top-class US rider.
Yeah, I think last year will be a year that she never forgets.
Yeah.
And I think you know, the Olympics was an amazing achievement, and that just built more and more confidence in herself. And the win there at Stephex with the other horse was also an amazing accomplishment. So she's worked very hard at it, and she deserves everything that she's gotten so far.
Don Juan, we've talked horses. Take me a little bit of a tour of Don Juan, Lauren.
Yeah, he does it with such ease. I wouldn't say he's a big, flashy, extraordinary jumper. He's a bit of a workhorse. And she obviously believes in him and he believes in her. And, you know, I think it took them a little while in the very beginning to learn each other, but they certainly know the buttons to push now. And obviously the record speaks for itself. So far, this is looking very, very good.
Just the only thought might be time here.
Oi, we're going to be really, I think we're going to.
Where we're not going to get there. It's going to be a lovely round, but it is going to be time. 3 for time, 82.99, Jessica Springsteen and Don Juan.
It's a hard, you know, the time is definitely a factor. For a big strided horse, all the lines ride quite backwards. So for a horse that has a big stride, it might be a touch on the slow side. You've got to pick a couple places in the course where it might be a bit uncomfortable to be sure that you're under the time allowed.
Well, there we go.
But it jumped a beautiful round. I'm sure she'll be happy and, well, disappointed with the time fault, but the horse looks in great form right now.
Absolutely, looks in fantastic form. It is 5 in top form so far to give us those qualifiers for the Grand Prix at the moment. For jump off, Daniel Deusser, Nal Nassar, Mario Delorier, Brian Mowbray and Connor Swale at this point. We're going to take a break for a few moments' time. We're also going to welcome back the band, and also we've got our dog charity coming up as well for you in just a few moments' time. We're going to be rejoining in around 5 minutes' time with the second part of round 1 of this $406,000 Fidelity Investments 5-star Grand Prix. Daniel Deusser, Nal Nassar, Mario Delorier, Brian Mowbray, Connor Swale, clear so far.
Featured dog rescue, and as you can see, does not discriminate based on size. If you see our very first one here, who's tiny and the end of
Dane. They're a fantastic organization that's been in operations for 2 years, and they have already adopted out 850 pets. They are all volunteer run, foster based, so no shelter, and they adopt anything of any age, size, and breed. So dogs, cats, but I think they've had some funky animals in there as well. They rescue, they're partnered with the county, and if you would like to learn more about them, we invite you to visit their website. It's muddypawsrescue.org. They're on Facebook and Instagram as well under Muddy Paws Rescue Inc. And it is worth noting, it's Muddy as in mutt, M-U-T-T-Y. All right, if you would like to visit them, they have a booth at the spectator entrance, and we are delighted to have them here with us tonight. And we are stalled. Throwing it to the band.
Sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things of what you're doing in my head. I paint a picture, since I've come along, well, my body's been a mess. Miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Did you have a good lawyer? Hope you did get that tan. Hope you find the right man to make that for you. Are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? Driving late at night. You was driving all the time. Are you busy? Since I come on home, well, my body's been across the water. And I think of all the things of what you're doing in my head. I paint a picture, yeah. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your changing hair and the way I like to dress. Won't you come on over? Come on over there. Valerie, Valerie, whoa. Come on over. Valerie, Valerie, yeah. Come on over. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Let's go. Feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. I don't know where the journey will end, but I know where it starts. Wish that I could stay forever this young, not afraid to close my eyes. Life's a game that's made for everyone, and love is a prize. Wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself now. I didn't know I was lost. Wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost. Trying to carry the weight of the world, but I only had 2 hands. I wish that I could just travel the world. I don't have any plans. I wish that I could stay forever this young, not afraid to close my eyes. Life's a game that's made for everyone, and love is blind. Wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost. Wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser
to resume into this $406,000 Fidelity Investments 5-star Grand Prix. Alongside me is US Olympian Lauren Huff. And Lauren, we've been watching them through so far. 5 clears at the moment. Daniel Deusser, Niall Nassau, Mario de Laurier, Brian Mowbray, Connor Swale. It's been stacked right the way from top to bottom at the moment with quality. What have you made of it?
As I said to you before, I think it's a nice course. I like the fact that there sort of been rails throughout. There hasn't been a real bogey fence. The white oxer with the water tray to that double has been a bit tricky, depending how they jump the oxer and the stride that you have. Whether you do, most are doing 5, but some have chopped in 6. The time is a little bit of a factor if you're on a slower horse. Like I said, the lines are all riding a little bit backwards for bigger strided horses, but I think it's played out really well so far, and we're looking at a different kind of class these days with some of the stronger ones going in the beginning, and the order's a little bit more spread out. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of the second half.
Absolutely, say it's not seeded like we were quite used to. So saying we've got 6 clears or 5 clears so far, don't start thinking, they can do this easily. We've actually had 4 of the world's top 10 in that group already.
Yes, we have, and there's still some. Listen, everyone that's jumping in this class is a contender. This is a hard class to qualify for, and it's still a really strong field to come.
It is, and we resume with Ireland's Mark Macaulay now for the SNC Macaulay Equestrian. Jasko van der Bishop, European-based, but heading out here for the season for the very first time here to the US, and riding the Belgian-bred horse by Dolph. This is Mark Macaulay, who finished 2nd in the Grand Prix at the end of January as well. European team rider last year in Riesenbeck as well for the Irish. He was team silver, team 5th.
Almost won the WEF the other day.
He did.
The last jump down, right?
Yeah.
The jump off. But he's had already some very good results here, and he's always a strong competitor all over the world. It's nice to have him here, a new face here in Florida.
I mean, you've watched Mark a good few times, been at shows with him. Can you give us a little summing up of Mark?
Again, he's produced many, many good horses to the top of the sport, and sold a few along the way. And he's very unassuming, but he's a quiet rider, but effective, and always very competitive when he's in a jump off. Well, that was a shame.
No, I'm going to hark back a little bit, because Andrew Bont is going to come up with us in a few moments' time as well. He talked about the middle part of that triple combination. We actually have only seen it go 2 or 3 times.
It didn't pop out to me when I walked the course, just because it seemed to be the same height as the Oxers. Sometimes I feel like B can be a bit of a bogey when it's
A little bit higher.
even 1 hole higher, or they change the color. But it's definitely gotten a couple of them. And
Yeah, not quite going to plan there.
it's
Mark
like
taking a
he's gonna
circle.
call it a night.
Yeah. Looks like he's going to retire. Yep, raises the hand there. So it is Mark Macaulay deciding to retire there with Jasko van der Bishop. Not quite to be today. Again, nothing too much wrong, but if it's not going quite
Listen,
right.
it's such a long season ahead of us, and even here in Florida, there's still, I think, 3 more 5 stars to come. So
Yeah.
pick and choose, and if your horse doesn't feel informed, then there's really no reason to keep going.
7, 9 and 12. Weeks 7, 9 and 12. Yep. 3 more shots at big money. Rolex Grand Prix on the end. It's going to be on the grass as well. $500,000 there.
That's exciting.
Looking forward to that, and looking forward to seeing this pair in action. 22-year-old Lucy de Laurier of the USA. Lisa de Laurier is her mum's Hester, Belgian-bred horse by Wandor. Now 17 years of age, another fabulous horse that's carried her literally right the way from her early junior career, right the way through to the Nations Cup final, and of course Nations Cup win last season in Aachen too. I mean, what a wonderful way to be into the story with that. 4-star Grand Prix winners previously here in Wellington. That was back in November 2020. Padam bronze medalist as well with this horse. 2nd in the Grand Prix of Sopot out in Poland as part of the 5-star Nations Cup series. It's a wonderful partnership to watch, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think literally she started in 1m30
Yeah.
classes with this horse, and they've grown up together, and they've done, every first for her was a first for him, and it's just an amazing partnership, and it's nice to see him looking in such good form as he gets older, and I think they're very wise, and pick and choose the right classes and try not to overuse him as he gets up there in age. He had a little bit of an argument with her there and got a bit crooked with his body and just got her a little too close to the plank. He didn't mean it though. He jumped the triple amazing. Lucy's still a full-time college student, so trying to
Yeah.
manage both and doing this at a high level and going to school, I'm sure, is always challenging. A lot of these young girls do that. Wow, he's jumping better as he goes here.
And again, Hester hasn't been out much this year, and again,
No,
17
they
years of
really,
age.
They tried to. Oh, got a little deep there, but got away with it. That was a shame. He looks in really good form now, and that was a shame to have that fence early on. But like I said, I thought he finished the course better than he started.
3, that first round time.
Well, just taking a look here at Lucy Deslauriers. Andrew Burns has been joining us now. Andrew, who won the Grand Prix here a few weeks ago.
guys.
Very good evening to you.
Good evening to you all.
Just hopping up between entertaining all owners and everybody else here tonight. What have you? Let's just go back one step. Andrew, you're a fantastic Irish rider, based here for a long time now. You're going to watch another Irish rider that's been based here for a while. Lovely performance from Hester, but Paul O'Shea has very much made America his home, hasn't he?
Very much so, and he's very well liked here. He's settled in and created himself a nice business here, and I would feel he represents himself and Ireland very well in everything that he does. Very nice, straightforward guy to deal with, and a fantastic rider too.
Paul, who won the 5-star Grand Prix in Monterrey down in Mexico back in November of last year as well. Second in the Grand Prix already this season. Emerald Partners, Emerald van Voorhof, and it's by Emerald. So Andrew, we're going to give Lauren you a chance to have a chat, but Andrew, you and I walked the course a little bit earlier on for social media as well. What have been your thoughts watching it now, having walked it with us a little bit earlier on?
When I walked it, I would not have said that there would be so many clear rounds as there are. But then when you actually look at the caliber of horses and riders that are in this class, I should have maybe looked at that first before I made that comment. It's incredible, just the strength of horses and riders here. It just gets bigger and better every year. And this is a testament to it. It's a very difficult track. This Liverpool Oxer is just riding a little bit spookier than even I expected, even though I did comment on it while we walked the course. It is definitely causing an issue. And then the roll back here. That Oxer's riding quite well, and actually this vertical is riding better than I thought it would. A few people are having issues with it, but it's very, very tall. It was very daunting when we looked at it on the ground.
Yeah, just stands over 1.60 m. It's 80.10, so he's going to have one for time there as well. 9 in total for Paul O'Shea and Emerald. Lauren, I'll let you sum it up. I'm going to start using both of you now.
Yeah, he had the back bar of that Oxer, I think, with the front toes. This horse looks a little bit heavy on the front end, and I thought he managed it well. I think it's, again, early on in the season, and again, a testament to this course builder that there's been rails throughout the course. There's no real bogey fence, and I've said it once, I'll say it again. I think that's a nice thing to have.
Well, nice thing to have is to watch Eduardo de Menezes now of Brazil for the H5 Sport Horses. H5 Chaganas, the Oldenburg by Chaco Blue for Eduardo. Pan Am gold medalist, finished 5th in the Grand Prix already this season. He won Grand Prix last year out in France as well. And Lauren, coming to you first. I mean, he's such a lovely, stylish rider to watch.
Absolutely. He's a really tall guy, and he is a light rider for his size, and this horse jumped well in the WEF the other day. They had a little miscommunication in the jump off, and he really had one down, and I think he'll remember that. This is a Chaco Blue, obviously very good breeding, and had some good success at the end of last year.
Which brings me nicely.
Oh, and I just jinxed it.
You jinxed it.
I was going to bring me nicely across to you with your top horse being Chaco Blue.
My horse is a Chaco Blue as well, and it's quite funny. Eduardo and I compare notes quite often on Chaco Blues because he has quite a few in his stable, and his owners have them as well, and they've been very successful with them, as I have as well. But the one thing we found with the Chaco Blues, no two of them are the same to ride. They all jump quite similarly. There's that Liverpool line again, giving issues. This horse looks a little more rideable than mine, but you can never really tell for sure.
He's going to call it.
I think so.
Well, not to be, I'm afraid, unusually for Eduardo de Menezes and H5 Chaganis. Lauren, coming back to your expert eye, what did we feel about that?
Yeah, the rideability looked a little bit more difficult tonight, and it looked like he got low in front of the Liverpool and just drug him under it. And I think already with one down, he decided to call it a night.
Petronella Anderson now impressed us the other day as well, didn't
Yeah,
she?
I only saw the jump off, but this horse was very impressive in the jump off. And, coming from the Stefek stables, many riders and many horses. And this looks to be one for the future here.
Castus van der Beernacher Z for Petronella Anderson.
Say that fast.
No, I say it
that
very
again.
fast. It is an 11-year-old mare by Coriano Z. Wins in Verona last season as well. Third in the Lyon Grand Prix, and also part of the Nations Cup team previously for the Swedish in Aachen. Andrew, for you, I mean, what have you taken away from what you've seen so far? We mentioned there we've seen poles dropping in all directions. You've seen some really good performances. Daniel Deusser, Niall Nassar, Mario Delorier, Brian Mowbray, Connor Swale. Who stood out to you?
I think everybody's on pretty good form here tonight. I thought Connor Swale rode a fantastic round on his horse. That horse is very talented, but its experience at a course this high, at this level, will be pretty limited. So I think that was really impressive. Wow. That was a big jump there.
Lauren, this one's getting high.
Yeah.
It's getting higher, but she obviously knows it because she's not
she's not
overreacting
phased.
to it jumping. Like it jumped already number 2 really high. But she's comfortable with it, and the horse seems comfortable. Let's see what it does here at the Liverpool.
Doesn't seem stressed or under pressure. Yeah.
It's really elastic with its body.
She pulled off that 5 strides pretty nicely there too. I think a horse with that scope and range, it was probably the right decision. And it takes care of the time allowed.
Turn, yeah.
She just
A
kind
bit
of
cross cantering here, but got away with it.
sits pretty the whole rest of the round.
Keep going.
Ooh, nudge towards the line, yeah, 78.91.
Very good.
Yeah, produces the clear there for Petronella Anderson and her ride for Sweden, and that will give him a clear. I'm going to throw it across to you two, Andrew and Lauren. Petronella Anderson, discuss. It's like going back to school now.
She's a good friend of mine. A very nice person. I believe this would be the... She has jumped some of the Saturday night classes here before, but maybe this is kind of her first 5-star here in Wellington. By the looks of things, she handled the pressure very well, and she's really kind of pulled it off on the night. And she's riding a wonderful horse too, which is always makes it a little easier. But like Lauren pointed out, even when the horse got a little high and a little bit awkward
She
here
didn't
and there,
overreact to it
she
at
didn't.
all.
She sat quiet, and she actually made the horse's life a bit easier.
Now, Andrew, we brought you up because we've got a whole string of Irish riders coming in. No,
Perfect timing.
Cian O'Connor with Saruti van der Holst said, and Cian again, another one building a fantastic string around him again this season for the Renoco jump here. This one came out of Portugal with Luis Ferreira, 12-year-old mare now for the European gold medalist. Of course, a long string of Nations Cup wins to his name as well. And Andrew, he's been very good again at bringing a new horse out. Again, interesting that it's 12, but straight in there and straight into these big classes.
Yeah, and I think it's quite impressive that he even qualified. You know, he can come straight to a show with a new horse and be competing at such a high level. There's no doubt when Cian puts his mind to something, he's always going to get it done and get it done in style. He's always been a good teammate to be on a team with, because you can count on him to have a clear round. I think tonight is a big ask for a new partnership like this, but it's by no means a reflection of what they'll do in the future.
And you've got to get in there and do it, haven't
Like
you?
he's making the decision where some of the more seasoned horses, they'd pull up after 3 down, and he's making the decision to hold this horse's hand and give it a bit of education, and it looks like it's going to finish up
And
quite well.
I think the horse is going to come out of this round a better horse for it.
For sure.
So now the next time he's facing a situation like this, the horse is going to feel easier to him.
Absolutely. So it is 12 though this time around for Cian O'Connor and Saruti van der Holst. As you say, though, it is one to build on for the future to look out for, and he's continued to build those top horses throughout. As you say,
Now, a question for you there, Lauren. Do you think he should have added a stride to that double?
You know,
or
listen,
was
I
it
think
right thing to do?
the horse spooked a bit at the Liverpool, knocked the front bar and landed quite shallow.
Yeah.
I think the stride of the horse normally would have been 5,
Yeah.
but probably from where it landed, maybe you'd chop in 6, but again, at that point, you'd already had one down, so
Yeah.
continue to educate the horse. The 6s that I've seen that have been done well, I quite liked, actually.
I think it's for a very specific horse, because the 5 is risky, it's long and it's
Yeah, it
flat,
is.
especially from a very wide oxer before that. So
Benny's Legacy now for Adrian Sterlich of the USA, the Starlight Farms of Greenwich, Connecticut. This 14-year-old now by Lupico, winner of the WEF Challenge Cup earlier on this week, and of course she herself World Championship gold medalist with Crystalline. Lovely to see that horse has been competing here over the last few weeks as well. This is a combination together though that have won multiple World Cups. They won the Captive 1 series already. She has one of their classes this season. That was on Lafayette. And Lauren, I mean, we watched her win the other day. I mean, she's really coming out strong this season.
Absolutely, she knows her horses very well. She looks very confident in her riding. Obviously, Andrew knows this horse very well. It came from their stable. He has a unusual jump, but he knows exactly where the pole is. He's a bit straight in the back, but really scopy. And he's just very clever and caddy.
yeah.
Jump that fantastic.
And he's a very sharp horse, naturally sharp horse. So in his everyday life, he's just an incredible horse to be around.
Normally, you know, she went very fast the other day, but it doesn't seem to
Doesn't, no.
phase him to then come back and have to pull it together for tonight.
It's a nice sign of intelligence and competence in a horse that they can go kick everybody's ass in the qualifier and then yet come back out tonight and still be rideable and still be with it.
Go to your Zen place and be
Yeah.
okay, let's just do this again.
To hit the reset button, come right
the one
back
got
in.
short there, but she
Yeah.
was able to get away with it.
It's funny, when we owned him, I always looked at him and said, oh, his back's never going to hold up. I don't know if he's going to stay sound. And he was one of the easiest horses to keep sound in the end, even at the very high level of competition. It just shows you there's no one set way.
Come on.
Go.
Oh.
No!
Yay.
Sugar and Spice. 80.09, just the one time there for Adrian Sternlich. And with Benny's Legacy, I mean, you probably can't even find anywhere on the course where that is. I mean, that's such a tiny margin.
Yeah, and she rode a beautiful round. Maybe she could have left one out to the last fence, but really,
That's a bit risky.
yeah,
That was a shame.
it was a shame. It was just this beautifully executed round.
.09.
Yeah, that's by a whisker, as they say.
Yeah, I didn't think even less than that, actually. Kristen van der Veen, 32-year-old US rider with the Bull Run Jumpers of Wellington's Bull Run's Risen. The Dutch-bred gelding by Utopie. 5-star winners in Thermal at the Desert Horse Park over in California. Back in the tail end of last year. Now 16 years of age, this horse. Also won at the American Gold Cup meeting up in Traverse City back in September. Kristen, who had, I think I did a quick tally, about 15, 16 international wins last year. Kept bringing those wins together. Finished second in a Grand Prix here previously as well. Another one, first
Third
fence.
or fourth horse to have the first jump down.
Wow.
Now, when you and I walked the course, and Lauren made the point as well, going into the corner,
Yep.
you said, okay, the screen's there. These are experienced horses. It shouldn't be a big...
That was my initial thought, was if I was riding a greener horse, I certainly would be worried about the position of the first fence. And as such, if I was riding C-Top Blue in this, I probably wouldn't even think about it. And maybe some people are a little too complacent about it. And
It's it's a sort of unassuming first jump.
Mhm.
To be honest, they don't. Maybe the first one that had it down spooked at it, but the others
Yeah.
just look a bit casual. To
Yeah.
be honest.
yeah. And when they're casual, a very plain, unassuming jump, and then their attention is slightly brought up to the screen, and it takes they only need to take their attention away for a split second, and it can cost you.
So this will be interesting. This is a slow horse with a
Mhm.
huge stride, but this girl is really clever about making the time allowed. So it'll be interesting to see what her time is.
Yeah, she's an
And
extremely
first jump
fast rider
down.
anyway.
Let's see what she does here.
Left one out there.
3, yep.
3, yeah.
6, 3,
6.
6. No problem.
She had to pull in the 6th. And she made the time allowed.
She did, 79.07. Kristen van der Veen, Bull Run's Risen. Just, I mean, actually, that's got to be a bit of a kicker, Lauren. I mean, the first fence.
Yeah, it was a shame. This horse has its own style. Kristen has her own style, but they're a fantastic combination, and she knows it inside out. And I don't think she would have expected to knock the first jump down. But welcome to the Sports Show jumping.
And well, we're going to go back with Ireland. Glad you came up, Andrew. This was all in the this was all in the timing. We've got about 4 more to come for Ireland. There's actually 9 in the field for Ireland tonight. I know it feels 16 for the USA as well. Bertram Allen. Pacino and Miro, 10-year-old by Pacino, who won a 5-star Grand Prix here last year as well. They were winners on week 7 by Aidan McGrory. He also won another Grand Prix with Castlefield Vegas here last year as well. He's already finished top 10. That was last week in the 4-star Grand Prix. That was back on the turf, so a bit of a different setting there, Andrew. But I mean, again, you'd have seen the father of this as well, Pacino, when it was Clem McMahon.
Yeah, Clem McMahon rode it. Actually, I rode 2 Nations Cup teams with Clem McMahon when he had Pacino on those teams. And as an 8-year-old, the horse was fantastic, even then. And Clem is a fantastic rider himself, a wonderful producer of horses, but he really excelled himself with Pacino. And then he very tragically died then, just as he was peaking in his career. But what he's done is he's bred some very, very wonderful horses back in Ireland and in Europe. This horse has Pacino used to jump with a little open in the front end and just use his scope a lot, whereas this horse uses its technique a little bit more than Pacino did. But I remember he jumped clear in the Aga Khan in the Nations Cup in Dublin in a 5-star. As an 8-year-old horse, it's almost unheard of. So
this horse also had a big year for a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
And I think even though it went to the Olympics last year, it still can make the odd green mistake, which is what it did there into that double.
Yeah, I mean, that was one thing we didn't touch on. I mean, this was a pair that went to the Olympic Games. I mean, 9-year-olds going to the Olympics is a little bit more unusual. Big Star was one that did in London, but Big Star again was a huge exception. But there we go, finishing just on the 4 there for Bertram Allen and Pacino and Miro. But again,
that was a quick 4.
That's going to put them into the money anyway.
Yeah, and the horse again just didn't get a proper read on the top rail there going into that double.
I mean, Bertram did what he could do to help him, and the horse just misread it.
So it puts him into 10th fastest of the 4 falters so far. Let's go to last year's winner, Shane Sweetnam, the Sweet Oak Farm and Spine Coast and Seabrook LLC's Alejandro, the now 13-year-old gelding. As I say, winners here last year, wins as part of the Major League Tour Series last year as well. And Shane looking to emulate that one again if he can here tonight.
Yeah, I was on the Major League team with Shane this year on the Lucky Charms. We had a great year, a lot of fun together.
Yeah. And there was a lot of Irish to that, hence the Lucky Charms.
Hence the name.
Shane's, been very clever about. This horse had a little bit of a rough year last year, and obviously building the horse back up after what happened at the Olympics. He's been very clever and jumping it small, then jumping it bigger, then jumping it small again, and it's a careful horse and a lot of blood, and I think a nervous horse, and he's holding its hand, and I think putting all the pieces together again.
I think tonight's a big part of that. He'll push it a little tonight and then back off the horse again.
Oh, he drug him a bit underneath that.
I wonder with Shane thinking of adding the stride after a little bit and just wanted to go that extra stride to the oxer, and the horse just didn't agree with him. Pulled him past that front bar a little bit. He got the 6 done to the double all right, but at the cost of that rail. And when we walked the course, Stephen, it was a very square oxer, and that top rail was really kind of up there for you to catch it.
Well, 78.54 it is on a score of 8 there for Shane Sweetnam and Alejandro. Good to see that pairing out here.
I'm sure Shane won't be happy with 8 faults, but actually I think he'll be happy with the way the horse is
coming
back into the form that it's shown in the past.
Absolutely. As we say, last year's winner. It is on 8 today, but I think there'll be a lot more to come for them throughout the season.
Currently 2 World Equestrian Games appearances.
The triple's riding better than I thought it would. I really thought it would cause more trouble, but I think...
Don't worry, I was blaming you earlier on when you weren't here, saying Andrew says the middle part of that combination is going to be hard.
It really hasn't caused any trouble at all. So there you go.
Lorenzo De Luca of Italy, F1 USA for the Podent Farms of Wellington and Great Britain. Riding for the Moffat family. And this Dutch-bred stallion by Toulon for Lorenzo. He's won some of the biggest Grand Prix around. Valkenswaard, Shanghai, Dublin amongst those. He was individual 7th at the World Championships last time around in 2018. Second in the WEF, in the Grand Prix qualifier. And Lauren, I mean, this is a horse and rider that have come together very quickly, and he really does enjoy riding this one.
Yeah, you know, Lorenzo's just recently at a new address here with the Poden Farm, and he's had the ability to ride many, many horses, different kinds of horses throughout his career, and he always is able to accommodate and do what best suits the horse that he's riding, and this looks like it's going to be a very formidable combination. It already is. They look super comfortable with one another. He's having to fight a little bit there to fit in the 5, but got away with it.
And they were very quick to gel together as well, which doesn't always happen at this level. It usually takes 6 months to a year for a horse and rider really to get to know it, to be competitive.
But to go to back a little bit of the history of this horse, I mean, Nick Skelton rode this horse, Ben Mayer rode this horse. You know, it's been with the Moffat family for a little while now. I mean, you know, it's had a good start.
It's a good horse.
It's a good horse.
Yeah.
I remember it coming out with Nick on, and it looks so impressive.
Yeah, no one's going to doubt that. No, it's a lovely type, and it's a nice consistent jump as well. How's his time? I think his time's okay, yeah.
It should be
Beautiful
all right.
round.
There we go.
Wow.
77.59, and so gives us a clear there. Following on for Petronella Anderson, it's Lorenzo De Luca of Italy and F1 USA adding to the clears so far. Takes us to the 7th of the clears at the moment. Andrew, what's your thoughts on F1?
For me,
The horse, not the
horse. I do enjoy F1 racing too, but I think the horse very impressive. I think for a pair that are maybe not together as long as most other people in this class, and a really impressive ride by Lorenzo. He just had the horse right where it needed to be in every fence. He picked all the distances and all the lines just to suit that horse perfectly. So I think, yeah, not just a brilliant ride, but a very smart ride as well by Lorenzo.
Well, now to Philipp Weishaupt, another new face here this season, the German rider. Riding for the Beerbaum Stables, Mariko Kato and Nayori Ko. Kobe 8 is now 12 years of age by Contagio. Philip, who's won some of the biggest Grand Prix in the world, Ark and Spruce, as part of the Beerbaum team there, won the World Cup qualifier in Saudi Arabia last season with this horse as well in the 5-star there. Stockholm, Samarin, notched up good performances there too.
Yeah, pretty extensive career already. Philip is a very successful rider in Germany and with Lugger and his team. Just
another rider, in my opinion, that can ride pretty much any kind
Yeah.
of horse.
Yeah.
He's proven that throughout his career, and very calm, cool, and collected.
But isn't that one of the keys? I mean, you've done it, Andrew's done it, riding lots and lots of different horses. I mean, people like Scott Brash. Scott started off in Brendan Stud riding every horse going in there. It builds that ability.
Absolutely, for sure.
It does, and it gives you an adaptability to horses. You know, there's no way you can ride one the same way on every horse. It's just not possible. So you learn from a young age to adapt that your horse that you're on.
To another clear here. He went
Oh,
6.
it's going to be a little tight on time. If he gets there, it should be okay. It's going to be at 79 something. There we go.
He was smart. He
Yeah.
knew he was a little
He was,
tight
yeah.
there, and he left the stride out to the last. And I think we might see more and more people do that now after seeing him do that.
Philipp Weishaupt then gives us clear round number 8 of our lineup so far. So the German rider.
Germans now.
Yep, alongside Daniel Deusser. Italy in there. What else have we brought into the game? We've got Sweden in there. We've got Ireland in there. Of course, we've got USA in there with Brian Mowbray as well. Canada with Mario Laurier and Egypt's Niall Nasser in the lineup so far.
Field.
Yeah, let's go back to Ireland. Let's say it's an
We're
international
Irish.
field. It just seems to be a lot of Irish at this precise minute. It's just the part of the field we're in. David Blake and the Pine Hollow Farm of here in Florida's Kiyoki, the 13-year-old Holsteiner by Katoki. Horse has been top 3 in the Rolex Grand Prix here in Wellington before now. Grand Prix win in Wellington last year as well for David Blake. He's another regular face here. I'm looking at Andrew because I'm letting you take the lead on all the Irish at the moment.
Well, David and I grew up together in Ireland. I'm very familiar with David. He's maybe one, we call it pony generation, younger than I am, but I'm very familiar with him. his whole career, and he actually used to ride a little bit for my parents as well, back in Ireland when he was there. He's been in America for some number of years now, and actually has created a very successful business and a very, very successful operation here.
Lauren is getting in a little bit of trouble at the moment.
Yeah, it's jumping. It jumped the plank a little bit too low,
Yeah.
and then it doesn't. Yeah, just not jumping high enough,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
It's every horse and rider sometimes have a bad night, and nothing disastrous happened. It just the horse was a little bit off its game tonight.
I think so.
Well, deciding to retire there for David Blake and Kiyoki, unfortunately. Leaves us now a long list for the USA and one for Ireland left to come in our lineup so far. We're going to be heading on to the USA with Tana Korotkin now, 20 years of age, for the Sandalwood Farms Volos Diamonds, 11-year-old by Stackatol. Wins in Tryon. He's part of the Sweetenham team, training with Shane as well these days too. Finished 4th in the 3-star Grand Prix here in January on Volos Diamond, as I mentioned, by Stackatol for Tana. Now, Lauren, now we've dealt with the Irish.
Okay.
We're going to go back to the US. Again, he's got a good history in the sport.
Listen, he's comes from a horse family, and he has worked really, really hard. And I would guessing this is probably his first 5-star appearance here in Florida.
I think so. Yeah, it's a big
He's
night for
had
Tanner.
some good results with this horse, and has really come to the high end of the sport in a short amount of time, and is starting to become very, very consistent. And I think has a very bright future. He works really hard at it.
Yeah, and a good kid, hard-working guy.
Yeah.
That comes from a good horse professional family here locally in Wellington. His dad Alan, they run a really nice operation too. So he definitely grew up with a horse background. It was always very available to him, and I think he's really capitalized on that. Again, he would have ridden many different types of horses all through his career, and it looks like he's getting a nice tune out of this horse. Oh, I jinxed it.
Jinxed it.
I'll say my apologies.
Once you're off, ouch.
Actually got the 5 done well, and maybe
Yeah.
just took his leg a little bit away, and the horse didn't follow through
Just
behind.
hollowed out a little bit. Okay. That's a difficult oxer.
It's
I'd
almost
say if
starting
I
to
could,
become the bogey
yeah,
for that.
if I could call a bogey jump in the whole night, it's that oxer. And it just, as you approach it, you don't get much time to see it. It's a
No,
little
it
bit
comes
blind,
up quick,
the turn.
and it's right behind the gazebo there.
Yeah, and then suddenly it's just 3 poles way up in the air, and this big ugly Liverpool underneath it, so it can be quite a distraction for the horses.
Finish on a score of 8 there, 79.80 for Tana Korotkin and Volos Diamonds. Lauren, though, for him taking away from tonight, as we said, is
It was a nice round. I think that was a green mistake perhaps on the horse's fault there at the Liverpool, and maybe a little bit him at the skinny, and that he could have just supported a little bit more with the leg to help him follow through. But I thought in general a very good round.
Absolutely. So another one of the youngsters there, one of the experienced, one of the greats, McLean Ward now, and it is the 2-time Olympic gold medalist, now adding a silver medal, of course, last year as part of the team. We've already mentioned a couple of those already with Laura Crouch and, of course, Jessica Springsteen. This is the Casper Group's Casper Van Heerden horse that actually came from the Poden Farms, and for now we're in the hands of McLean Ward, which is great. New owners, and excited with this horse to see.
Hard to turn to the left.
He does. So this course is going to suit him, though, because most of it's to the
the
right. So this could be McLean's night. I think big scope horse should have no problem with the size of this track. Just it's getting a little rude on McLean there.
Yeah, I think having to have a little bit of an argument to turn to fence 2 caught up with him when the horse cut in there to the right, and he didn't square up to jump the plank well.
Yeah.
This horse has jumped so many clear rounds, double clear rounds,
Yep.
and many big Grand Prix, and this is an unusual score. But again, probably first big class of the year for the horse, and might be just a tiny bit rusty.
I think so. The last time I think was in California at the 5-star in
Yep.
the Major League there.
Now let's
finished
see if
second
he
in that
does
Grand Prix.
6-3-6.
Yeah. A bit underneath that.
No.
Yeah, you see, he's just struggling with his turns there, and it's made a track like this. This track is so much in your face, it really doesn't give you any breather or any time respite to settle a horse down. So once the
The
horse
horse
got
finished that course, I thought, way better than it started.
yeah,
for sure.
it did.
2.62.65.
Well, there we see them at the plank. But as you say, I mean, this is one to get back under the lights, back in the groove, as you say. I mean, they finished second in the Grand Prix in Thermal back in December,
Yeah.
but back in the groove here now in Wellington.
Yeah, I think so.
McLean
A
already.
lot more to come, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to say McLean's already won 2 Grand Prix already this season. He's got off to a pretty good start.
Nice to give the rest of them a chance.
And on now to our next going to be Brianne Goutal. Brianne Goutal-Marteau, winner of the American Gold Cup last year. Adds that for, I think it was the second time that she'd won that. Brianne with Viva Colombia. And this is the 17-year-old by Couleur Rubin for Brianne. Hampton Classic Grand Prix winner. As I say, American Gold Cup. Fantastic rider to watch again. And finished already into 8th place with this horse in January. But again, at 17, Lauren is going to be picking their way through the season.
For sure, she'll be very selective with what this horse does, and this is a slower horse, so she's going to have to really be aware of the time allowed. She turned quite short there,
Yeah.
back to the wall.
Very smooth ride though, always from Brianne and this horse. Like, they always look like they're just cruising around. They make it look easy almost every time. Quite impressive. The horse got almost a little green there in the 2 strides, and Brianne just straightened him up a little bit. It's perfect. Little leg there.
She's going to have to move around this
Yeah.
turn.
There she's going now. And it's even hard. He put a fence there in your way, so
Yeah,
you
there's
couldn't turn any tighter. So she'll be very tight here, I imagine. Line up good. She did the 5 strides there, sit up. So now she got the 5 strides, but you don't see it as clearly because it's a head-on shot, but she was able to move up and then slow down for the 1 stride in the double. So essentially making it easy for the horse.
Oh, her time's going to be...
No, she's not going to get there.
She's going to make it.
Yeah, and she
That was
did
a
the lay
shame.
back
There
her
wasn't
last
a
out.
lot more she could have done
No.
to be able to...
Finishes on a couple there for time, in fact 4 for time as it is now for Brianne.
Yeah, the extra time falls, that's soul destroying.
I'm not getting into the debate. But yes, there is a
I
change in the
don't
way.
think she deserved to have 2 more
Yeah.
falls than somebody else. That was a beautiful round.
Well, puts her on a score of 4 there for 83.04 for Brianne. So for those, we've got 8 clears so far in our lineup for this class. And let's complete the triumvirate from those Olympic Games in Tokyo. And of course, Olympic silver, adding to her Olympic gold from Beijing. It's Laura Crouch, the St Bride's Farm of Upperville's Balutinu, the Hanoverian by Balou de Ray, formerly ridden by Adam Prudent. And combination that last season were also 2nd in the Rome Grand Prix, 5th in the Aachen Grand Prix, and actually here in Wellington came out in April, their first time out, and they won the Grand Prix. I mean, just came out, here we go, as a new
That
partnership,
was
and
an
off we went.
extreme example of just absolute brilliance. She came out and just won the Grand Prix right away. And nobody would have expected that to happen. And
Sorry,
just
Lauren's actually sitting back and riding every stride. I'm gonna let Lauren take over here because she's if she can open her mouth because she's got her teeth gritted.
we're not playing favourites here or anything.
Listen, it's an amazing combination, but still a very new combination. They haven't even been together a year, and I think she's still trying to figure out the right buttons to push with all the rideability. The horse has all the jump in the whole world, and is oh, that was
Oh,
a
no.
shame. Just barely touched it
Yeah.
behind.
Barely. That was her.
He just argued with her a little bit in the turn and maybe got a little close and just, but that was a cheap 4 faults in
Yeah.
my opinion.
And Adam Prudent used to ride
Yep.
this horse. And it did very well with it, but all the time, the talent and the just sheer power of this horse is fantastic. And then to combine it with a rider like Laura, it was a dream come true, really.
So that was a quick 4 falter, and we're in 12th
12th,
place.
just in the money. Just in the money for Laura Crouch. And Balutinu still leaning back.
That was really a shame.
Yeah.
Laura, if you could see the acrobatics that Lauren was doing during that round, it's a good job we haven't got a camera on us, because you probably all think we were going a bit quiet, but she was leaning back, gritting and moving forward. She was riding every fence there.
Laura rode that round nearly better than Laura Crouch did.
So we've got 2 left to come for the USA, 1 for Ireland, and for the US now, Carl Cook and let's see, Caillou, of course, is headed over from California on this 15-year-old biker. Sal, another fabulous combination. Won 3 Grand Prix up in Traverse City last year and has kept notching up those Grand Prix wins as well. Won in California a Grand Prix like a week ago, and then headed straight over here to Wellington, where he'll be for much of the season too. Who wants to jump in? Lauren, we're going Team USA.
Whoa, we got a little sticky there at the wall. Yeah, this combination have had some fantastic results. They've had some amazing jump-offs together. Bit of an a beautiful style, but the horse really sometimes hesitates on the takeoff, and Carl doesn't panic. He lets the horse do its own way, and a lot of riders, I think, would.
Oh no!
That was a shame.
So now he planned the 8 there, I think, and did he see the 7 halfway through it?
Yeah, it looked like the horse was starting to peak at the water, and he was kicking, and I didn't, to be honest, count the number, but
Yeah.
hopefully everybody's up.
Yeah,
and
they're up.
okay.
I think they're just a little bit caught in the tack at the moment, which is why everyone's just hesitating at the moment.
Yeah.
But both up and okay, but just we've got the loose tack, the bridle hanging around Caillou at the moment.
Yeah.
Caillou's quite nicely, sensibly just walking around, and the team are just getting close there,
He's a
and
good boy.
they're going to get close and they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Another day. There's always another day, and
Yeah.
they're both fine. And
He was jumping so well. I was looking through the window here, and it looked to me a little bit like Carl really planned to catch that forward 8 strides to that Oxer, and then almost saw the 7, or and just what he was trying to ask the horse to do was maybe not that realistic. So and a beautiful round after that.
And let's take that as an example. It's a really tough sport to do. Split second timing.
Yeah.
You're going at 35 miles an hour around there, trying to do that on half a ton of horse, half blind round a corner.
And it's extremely unforgiving.
Yeah. Anybody want to try the sport?
Yeah. Not for the faint of heart.
Lauren's laughing while I'm saying this, but
yeah, it's you normally in this sport have more bad rounds than good rounds. But I think it's a wonderful challenge, and you're always learning. And it's what I certainly enjoy about it. Every day you learn from these animals something.
absolutely. Well, 2 left to go, and first those 2 is going to be Owen McMahon of the Beerbam Stables and Chacon 2, the 16-year-old by Chaco Blue, for Owen, who's also won a WEF Challenge Cup here this season already. Again, first year for him out here in Wellington. He was also part of the European team for the Irish last season as well. That was in Riesenbeck at the European Championships. Nations Cup rider for the Irish too. Andrew, coming across to you. I mean, he's spent a lot of time in, if you like, the German system.
In the German system with Lugger and his team there, again, he's riding a Chaco Blue horse. I would say Owen has been a rider that's been on all of our radars, kind of those people that know Owen and know how he can ride right from when he was a kid, from when he was a small kid riding ponies. I think the talent was very apparent, and I think we were all very happy when he ended up in a system like Lugger's. So now he'll get the horses, he'll get the system, the guidance, and combined with that talent, I mean, the sky's the limit. What could happen for this guy? Just enormously talented. Now that horse again misread that Oxer a little bit and just got a little too high. But Owen actually rode some horses and some ponies for my father when he was younger.
Yeah.
So we're quite familiar with him and his family, and just right from the get-go, even when he was a small kid, just the level of talent and
Call it a night.
natural feel was fantastic.
Didn't go to plan to do this
No.
time for Owen McMahon. I'm glad you said it was Owen, because lots of people look at me and go, how do I say that?
Oh, Owen.
Let's reflect on that. Okay, it didn't go to plan tonight. Again, this pair, okay, a bit more experienced horse. Lights are not going to make that much of a difference, but again, they haven't been out there in this atmosphere before now. And this is packed.
The atmosphere is pretty strong, and the jumps are really big. And there's no doubt this course builder has set a very, very technical course. So, like I said to you from the start, the course is a little bit unrelenting, so it's coming at you at a very fast rate. You don't get a chance for any respite. As you turn, there's another jump, line, turn, jump, line. And what happened to him there, the horse got a little careful, started to get a little bit green. He tried to ride it out of it, and it just wasn't enough. The horse still didn't get comfortable with the course.
And you're sensible enough to say, okay.
And then at that point, he knows he's smart enough to say, right, this is going to get worse before it gets better. So,
Natalie Dean for the USA is going to be the last in the first round, and I'm going to look at Lauren here for a rundown here. She's from California. Marigold Sport Horses, Charles Samuel, so the horse that she rode in Spruce Meadows on the team there last year as well. Had a fantastic 2021. We were talking about Jessie Springsteen having a big 2021. For this girl's career, last year was a big year as well.
Absolutely, she's really dedicated to the sport and is fortunate enough to have a really big string of horses and her family's support, and Alon Furter, her trainer, and she works very hard at it, and I think still has a bit to learn at this level, but you can only do that by getting in the ring and getting the experience. She had a good round in the WEF the other day, I think clear, and many clears and some 3 stars, and obviously got the opportunity to do some Nations Cups.
She's a very competitive rider too.
Yeah.
She's not the kind of rider you want coming after you in a jump off, because she's really, really fast. And this horse actually has been very good for her chance. It was ridden by Michael Morrissey before, and actually owned by QBS, Dennis Cisco and Michael Meller. And they're actually business partners of mine as well. They actually own some horses with me too. So
she finished up a good round.
With the knockdowns for the USA's Natalie Dean with chance to start by the time 79.75. The score.
And again, okay, she hasn't jumped this horse at this level maybe for a while. So it's in the end, it turned out to be a good round for her to rebuild the horse again, and she'll come out stronger and better for the next one.
Absolutely. Well, that completes the first round here. Now we've got 8 through into the jump off, and I think Lauren Huff said there was going to be 8.
Sure, that was me.
Was that your call?
Yeah, she made a call early on. I said it was probably a bit early, but there it is. Daniel Deusser, Niall Nasser, Mario Delorier, Brian Mowgray, Connor Swale, Petronella Anderson, Lorenzo De Luca, and Philip Weishaupt into the clears. Andrew, before you disappear, we're going to say, who do you think?
I think, first of all, there's no surprises there in the clear rounds. I think it's a really strong jump off. Obviously, I like Philip Weishaupt at the very end because he'll be last to go. Also, Lorenzo has a favourable position. But at the end of the day, you cannot rule out Daniel Deusser or Niall Nassar. They're both at the very beginning there, but 2 incredibly fast riders. It's a pretty stacked jump off.
Absolutely. Well, you won one a few weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago now. You're still on a high for that, I'd imagine.
I am, yeah. I still pinch myself every now and again. For me, it was a big deal. It's one of my biggest wins in my career. And I'm looking forward to getting my horse T-Top Blue back into a 5-star in the next couple of weeks and giving it a go at a class like this. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, the band's firing back up, and we've got a bit of strings in there. I'm going to go and let you enjoy that. I know you've got an orange juice chilling somewhere. Yeah. Andrew, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you more through the season.
Super.
Congratulations on your Grand Prix win as well. Lauren and I are going to sit back and take you through the jump off, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Well, getting set to look at the jump off, and again sponsored by Fidelity Investments. The jump off course for tonight's Fidelity 5-star Grand Prix looks like this. An exciting one lined up for you. Starting over near the entrance, we're coming over fence 7 this time. A little change here in the material. We've got not the skinny this time, but the full length poles. And turning back to fence 8 at the Oxer. From there it's up the centre of the arena to a new yellow Oxer introduced on course at fence 16. And then from there it is going to be maybe that route. Lauren Huff's going to discuss that with us in a few moments' time, to the Fidelity Vertical at 17. She's shaking her head. 10A and B, if you're going this way you're not winning. 10A and 10B through the double there, and fence 11 comes into play as the next to go. And then it's going to be a long run down to the last. It's going to be a vertical to finish off. A little change in material here as well. It's the Fidelity fence, what's the middle part of the triple combination previously as the last on course. So plenty of room to get the gallops in. And Lauren Huff is alongside me to take us through. Our thanks to Fidelity for sponsoring each week those course descriptions and the graphics there. And the final turn of our tractors around the arena, the John Deere tractors, before we get into this jump off. Daniel Deusser, Niall Nassar, Mario Delorier, Brian Maugrey, Balou de Reventon, Connor Swale, count me in. Petronella Anderson is counted in with her horse as well. And then, of course, those final couple coming into play, Lorenzo De Luca and F1 USA, and Philipp Weishaupt of Germany. So Germany with 2 in the game there. It is Egypt, Canada, Ireland in there, and Sweden, Italy, all with plenty to pay for. Let's take a look at the money that's involved here as well, because that puts a bit of extra, quite a lot of extra pressure on in this class, because first is 133,980. Okay, lovely you say, but down look at second, 81,200. So what's 50-odd thousand difference for a split second or a pole? Lauren's about to cry. 21,000 down to third, 60,900. Another 20,000 different down to fourth, and then Needle closing up with the gap about 16,000 between fourth and fifth. That gives you an idea of what is on the line here for them. So that high gain purse payout as we take you through that. Lauren Huff alongside me, Olympic rider, Grand Prix winner here in this arena before now as well. Do you think about that as a rider or not? Just you're going out to win, aren't you?
Absolutely. I don't think you really think about the actual money. I think you ride the best round that you can, and there's some at a 5-star level. They're all seasoned horse rider combinations, and I think there's a couple questions in this course. There's a lot of galloping, but there's also some difficult turns. There's the possibility to go inside 10A to get to the new 17 there. I think you'll see most go right between the double, but they're definitely not going to go all the way around the gazebo. And this guy will show us how to do it.
Absolutely. Daniel Deusser, the world number 3, starts us off with the Stefex Stable Scuderia 1918 Tobago's there. This wonderful 14-year-old that won 2 Grand Prix here last year as well. Relics Grand Prix, Nations Cup Grand Prix. Good way to start for this pair if they come into this win here with their first night performance as part of the Winter Equestrian Festival. $406,000 in the prize fund for this Fidelity 5-star Grand Prix.
He's looking at that turn.
I was going to say, he's just having a little practice there. You know all the tricks of the trade. He's having a little look, don't you?
Yeah, this is a really clever horse. It turns really well. It covers the ground. Maybe not the biggest stride, but it doesn't spend a lot of time in the air, and I think he'll definitely put the pressure on here if he can leave all the poles up. Daniel
Deusser then to start us off, first of 8 to go in this jump off. Yes, Lauren Huff predicted 8 at the start of the class.
Just to remind you one more time.
Yep, absolutely. Daniel to show the way then, starting, as I say, change of material here.
They've also skinnied this Oxer up the second jump here. It was a very good turn.
New fence.
7 strides to the yellow. This is tricky.
Ooh,
Wowzers.
There we go, he's got the inside line. That's what you were talking about.
That is not easy to do.
Then back.
Kick him out. Kick. Go.
Away from the double, and then...
Oh, he missed a shoe.
Ooh.
Oh, no way.
He's got to leg it down to the finish.
No
that was unbelievable
way.
if he pulls it off.
Oh,
So close. So close. 38.50 finish on the floor there for Daniel Duysel. Tobago's there. Lauren, that was full of everything.
The finishing time, the split time, landing after finish number 17. The other fidelity vertical 19.35 for Germany's Daniel Duysel. 1918 Tobago.
I mean, did you say that? It looks like they lost a shoe partway round as well.
Yeah, he maybe just lost his ground around to that Oxer because that was quite a move there. And yeah, he took every risk to the last.
Following the jump off second rider to go clear around to number 1 Egypt now.
He got that turn inside 10A. I mean, it's what I'd call a pro line.
Yeah, he made that look a lot easier than I think it is.
No,
We'll
that's
see, this is also a very handy horse and a very good course.
With the Egyptian,
I think the winner's going to you have to do it.
Now that's the Evergate Stables Igor van der Wittemore, the gelding by Cooper van der Heffink for Niall, our second of the 8. As I say, he's been a Grand Prix winner back in November this season, won the WEF class a few weeks ago at high speed there.
Put a nice angle on fence 1. Oh.
Well, he went to put the angle on that, but it didn't quite
work out. Didn't really see that coming.
Again, it's worth putting a bit of pace on here, as we saw from that prize money, because a fast 4 still might get you a lot of prize money here tonight.
Absolutely. Wow, that was quite a slice into the double. He didn't get away with it there. Now he's going to slow it down a bit.
Cruising for the last, and with 8 on the board, he'll clear that one. Third to 40.20 there for the second out, Niall Nassar. He's shaking his head, Lauren, understandably.
Yeah, it's always super frustrating to have the first jump, or the last jump, jump off. I think he still tried to stay on it, because I think class 4 is
sole representative from Canada, and a quick rider he is.
So it takes us to Mario Delorier of Canada, Wishing Well Farms, Bardolina 2. So still looking for first clear. Daniel Duysel leads on the 4, 38.50. Again, though, you can see those early ones have tried to really fly at them, haven't they, Lauren? And that
it
either works or it doesn't.
Every risk tonight. Did 8 strides from 1 to 2. Obviously, this is a little bit of a slower moving horse, but I'm sure he's wanting to put up a clear round. And he decided to go between the double, which probably for this horse is better suited. I think if he tried the inside, it would have gotten too much pulling and probably even a little bit slower. Jump through there beautifully. Quick gallop down to the last. Obviously, I think Mario didn't take every risk. He put in a double clear, which I think was a really smart move.
Yep, puts him in the lead so far. Mario Delorier is somewhat slower there at 45.16, but as you say, sensible move there for them, for Mario to take the lead so far. Again, it was probably his strategy all along then.
I think so. You know, because this horse is handy as the first 2 with the turning, probably not, and Mario chose probably the best decision tonight, and a double clear in this 5-star early on the season is a fantastic on your record.
This could be, could pick you up sort of $40,000-$50,000 here tonight. Balou de Raventon, Brian Murgray, the US horse of the year.
The jump off now?
Well, you're putting one of the best in. Here we go then, Brian Murgray, Balou de Raventon to set this alight on Anne Thompson's fantastic horse. So far, now he moves away.
He went through the double.
Keeps moving though, away from there in 19 seconds.
Maybe a little wide there.
The whistles are going. He's going to be, if he leaves them up, he's easily going to be ahead of Mario Delorier. The question is who's coming after him. This could be around 40 seconds as a finishing time. Nicely done. 41.58 to take the lead for Brian Murgray. Balou de Raventon, we saw Daniel Duysel at 38.5 seconds. Lauren, your overall thought?
Yeah, it was a fantastic round. I think the door's been just slightly left
pushed,
open.
yeah.
You know, it's a hard jump off to jump clear, and he was definitely quick enough with maybe not taking every risk. So we'll see. I think it'll definitely, hopefully, be a top 3 finish.
Okay. So Beludo Aventon leads the way so far. Coming in to challenge them is the world number 9, Connor Swale of Ireland, and Count Me In, the 15-year-old Hanoverian by Count Granis, notching up those World Cup wins, 3 of them in recent months, winning Thermal just last week. I mean, you and I have watched this horse in different locations in the last few months. They've definitely got the speed here to do this.
100%. And, like, Connor's just in fantastic form right now, and I think he feels very confident in himself, and he believes in his horses, and he's going to give it a go here, I'm sure.
I don't think there's any other strategy. You talked about the inside turn because Brian went between the 2 parts of the double.
Yeah.
If you keep moving, is it going to make a lot of difference?
We're going to find out here in a sec. He looked at the inside turn. I think it just depends how handy your horse is, really. This horse doesn't have quite a big of a step. He has chosen to go just around A. Now he's got to be quick. Oh, trip, quick back here.
Similar time to Brian Mowbray
Yeah,
so
I don't
far.
know that now we can be a little quicker here to this Oxer. No, he's not.
He had to work there, and he's got one more fence to go for Swale. Count Me In. 41.58. He should get 41.42. Swale takes the lead. Count Me In, but not by a lot from Brian Mowbray.
I would get a little bit go wrong there on the way to the second to last. And,
He takes the lead
basically
with
took that horse
3.
through it on the other side of that
The
fence.
jump off. First of those 3 remaining riders representing Sweden. Petronella Anderson with
First trip,
Paxton,
but then you have to turn a little wide on the back.
So Petronella Anderson of Sweden, and it's the Stefek Stables mare now by Coriano Z. The door is still open, isn't it?
Absolutely. The door is still open. I don't know if it's wide open, but it's definitely
There's a chink.
cracked.
There's definitely a touch of daylight coming through. We will see. Petronella Anderson still to come. She's the 6th. Then we've got Lorenzo De Luca and Philip Weishaupt on the end of this.
There's one more than the others there.
Goes between, gets a nice shot at it. A little bit steadier though.
Yeah. Let's see if she'll be faster than Mario. No. Horse just shifted a bit left in the takeoff there.
I think it was a boot. There we go, last fence goes down as well. I'm afraid it is 8 this time, 42.65. Petronella Anderson and Castelmanda Bianca. For them, it's, you know, again, one of their few appearances into this jump-off like this.
You know, it's fantastic.
Ireland, Italy or Germany. That's the national anthems we won't be playing a little later on because it's Ireland that leads. He was down on the split side, but pushing through the second part, and Connor Swale currently leads by just a fraction of a second. It really is a blink of an eye.
Connor Swale still leads the way then, 41.42. 2 left to come, 1 for Italy and 1 for Germany. Yes. Lorenzo De Luca, talk about fast. He's on F1 USA. The Dutch-bred gelding now by Toulon for the Poden Farms. 2nd in the WEF Challenge Cup. Now he's got a chance to go one more. That'll be followed by Philip Weishaupt and Kobe 8. Where's the money going?
Either one of them, they both know what they're doing, and they're both on experienced horses. Lorenzo obviously had a very good WEF the other day. Time will tell here in a minute.
Absolutely, the Italian Air Force set to go. So, Italy go first, Germany go second, Ireland lead at the moment. Lorenzo De Luca to build on that good finish. Nice move across the first. sepulchral silence in this arena right now, and it is packed. No. Swale keeps the lead.
Shot at the vertical. Maybe he thought about turning a little bit in the air, and the horse just didn't follow through.
Just coming home on the full faults then for Lorenzo De Luca in F1 USA. The last fence is going to go as well. Total of 8 there, 41.54. Gives the horse a pat. Doesn't quite come off this time. There you still see the leading time, 41.42. It was 41.54, a little bit steadier, but just moved across
I
it.
think, again, the distance was good. He was a little bit on the left and right angle, and he was trying to turn back hard left.
As Germany's Philip Weishaupt, then with Kobe 8.
So leaves us one left to come, and it's going to be Philip Weishaupt as the last combination here for the Beerbaum Stables. Marika Kato and Yuriko. Kobe 8. Got all the credentials to do this.
Yep,
The space
he
there
does.
to do it.
And I think the door's been left open, so if he can leave them up, I think he's going to be quicker.
Weishaupt then the last to go in this Fidelity 5-star Grand Prix. First 5-star of the season. Reminder, we've got 5 stars coming up on weeks 7. This is week 5, week 7, week 9 and week 12 for the Rolex Grand Prix. Nice move across the first.
7 strides.
But that was controlled, wasn't it?
Beautiful. 8 strides. Now he's got to be quick here. Okay, turn back short.
It's been pretty.
Now he's got to go.
Yeah.
He's got to go now. Come on.
Now you've got to chase. Now you've got to chase. 41.42 to beat. This could be very, very close. And it's going to be 49.6. He gets it. Philip Weishaupt and Kobe 8 for Germany. That was just brilliantly pulled off. Lauren, that was just a real exacting examination there.
Yeah, he stayed very cool and calm, and he did one less from 1 to 2. Then he did the 8 here. I don't know, it looked on the edge to me until after the double, he turned back and he had to really take a shot there, and then the horse got a little wiggly down to the last, and he didn't panic. That's the sign of this pressure situation many times. Nice way to start his Florida season here, his first Florida season.
Absolutely. So Philip Weishaupt there will claim the win here for the Fidelity Investments Grand Prix. We'll take another look at that round in just a few moments' time. We take a breather for a few commercials, and we'll be back. But congratulations to Philip Weishaupt, who wins the Fidelity Grand Prix.
At Fidelity, your dedicated advisor will help you create a comprehensive wealth plan for your full financial picture with the right balance of risk and reward, so you can enjoy more of this. This is the planning effect.
Well, Lauren Huff alongside. Lauren, let's take apart this round of Philip Weishaupt, because he just took apart the field here, didn't he? He literally,
He was
piece by
very,
piece,
very clever.
talk me through it.
I think also Daniel did the same number from 1 to 2. He stayed really on the right corner here. And turned really short back to that and did 7 strides. And the 8 got a little close. He landed a little dead, but moved quick over here. Didn't take every risk to this vertical. That's been coming down a lot. Then turned short back. Still looked close to me. Landed really on the right corner here. And then he took a shot there.
And then it was move
And
on down
still,
to
again,
last.
the horse got quite wiggly here.
Yeah, there we go.
He got away with it.
He did. He certainly got away with it. He's certainly got a good win behind them, as you say. It was well worked out, mathematically produced. 40.96 was the ending time. Raising the hat there, Philip Weishaupt, and Kobe 8 claims the Fidelity Grand Prix here tonight. Very well done to them. We're going to pick up with our presentation in just a few moments' time with our leading group there. Lauren Huff, thank you very much for joining us here tonight.
Thank you, Stephen. It was my pleasure.
And
Good sport.
Absolutely, very good sport. And as I say, those presentations are the way. Lauren, you're going to be back in action, I would guess, over the next few days.
I will be. Yep, I've got a nice group of young horses that will be coming along in most of the 2 stars.
Absolutely, looking forward to seeing those, the 5 stars of the future.
Yes.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Thank you,
And
Stephen.
Thank you very much, Lauren. Thank you for joining us. We are going to be coming into that presentation. Leading Lady Award as well coming up. Adrian Sterlix, I think, is going to be leading this week. So well done to her. A few moments away from that presentation. And our thanks to Fidelity, our sponsors here this week as well, and continued sponsorship here in Wellington, and thank you to them. Thank you for joining us. As I say, we've got a presentation to come. Our thanks to Fidelity, and our thanks to all our sponsors throughout the season. 5 stars still to come, as I mentioned, throughout week 7, week 9, double week 7. We've got dressage, 5-star dressage, and 5-star jumping. I'm going to be exhausted that week. And we've got there the presentation of the leading lady to Adrian Sterlix and Martha Wechtel-Jolicoeur and Stephen Norton, presenting that to our leading lady. Well done to them after good performances. And of course, she won the WEF class, and then a good performance in the Grand Prix as well. Main presentation coming up, and I'll hand you over to the arena team for that. That'll be along in a few moments' time. And as I say, join us over the coming weeks, all the way through the season, and the build-up. There will be conclusion of the Rolex Grand Prix on week 12, but we've got a lot to go on the menu before then.
And just about set to bring back our top 3 in tonight's $406,000 Fidelity Investments Grand Prix. Will gallop that winning combination. The second and third riders will return on foot for their podium placings. And Fidelity Investments is proud to sponsor the Winter Equestrian Festival. You can visit the Fidelity Investments Center in Palm Beach Gardens and Boca Raton for financial planning made easy. No matter what kind of investor you are, Fidelity can help. For more information or to attend one of our free educational investment seminars, call 1-800-FIDELITY. That's 1-800-FIDELITY, or visit fidelity.com. Fidelity Brokerage Services. Member New York Stock Exchange, SIPC. Our winning rider back for a tour of victory. Germany's Philipp Weishaupt with Kobe 8. His 12-year-old Hanoverian gelding owned by Mariko Kano, no Yuri Ko, and Beerbaum Stables. Round of applause for tonight's winning rider, Germany's Philipp Weishaupt with Kobe 8. We'll present now to our top three. They'll take their places on the podium. Furman Rubal with Fidelity Investments here to present to the top three in tonight's $406,000 Fidelity Investments Grand Prix. Third place honors to the U.S. rider Brian Mogri with Baloo de Reventon, the 16-year-old Oldenburg stallion by Cornet Obolinski, owned by Ann C. Thompson. Second award into tonight's Fidelity Investments Grand Prix to the Irishman Connor Swill with his own Count Me In, a 15-year-old Hanoverian gelding. He was the final in the jump off, and as is so often the case, the last proves to be the best. He'll take the final spot on the podium as well. Top call tonight goes to Germany's Philipp Weishaupt with Kobe 8, a 12-year-old Hanoverian gelding owned by Mariko Kado, Noyuri Ko, and Beerbaum Stables. And we'd like to thank Palm Beach Equine Clinic, our official veterinarians of the Palm Beach International Equestrian Center. And thank you as well to our official sport photographer, SportPhoto. Photos uploaded every day. If you would all please rise and remove cover for the national anthem of Germany in honor of tonight's winner, Philipp Weishaupt. And the champagne spray again. Congratulations to Germany's Philipp Weishaupt with Kobe 8. Winning combination in tonight's Fidelity Investments Grand Prix. That winning time, 40.96. Second place honors going to Ireland's Connor Swill with Count Me In. The U.S. rider Brian Mogri, third with Baloo de Reventon. The tiki's open, the gallery's open. Stay for a while.